OBS. There we go. OBS just lagging a little bit today. Welcome back to some Ironheart Merchant Company on Saturday at session 34, Clouded Questioning. Last time we left off, we started session in the afternoon of the 20th of the Darkened Moon, therefore February, with the party planning their attack and mostly trap, or ambush rather, on the Smilodons that had heard and seen Old Big Tooth go down. With that, the party put up some ice walls and created a funnel system allowing the creatures to basically come in and attack Rollman directly, with the expectation that this would allow Rollman to chain and run through the beasts. Unfortunately, both to Rollman's sadness as well as the party's own lack of luck, only one of the packs of the creatures actually managed to flow through the little ambush spot and corridor, while the two of the others managed to get up onto the roof of the building that the majority of the party was hiding on, while the last was taken out by an unseen creature that had vanished beneath the haboob and the mist that had been cast by Rad. As the fight of those Smilodons in that mist would continue on, eventually showing the Earth Elemental underneath it, the party would manage to hold their own and almost outright completely defeat these creatures without taking really any damage. Rollman coming out, I believe, healthier than when he went into the fight.
I took no damage.
Yeah. Melvin, I think, was the only one who managed to actually take damage, going down once to a pounce on one of the unfortunate creatures, while the rest of the party managed to hold their own, taking them down one after another.
I got down to about almost half health.
Oh, you were at half. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I was hitting through your AC a couple times, which I was quite shocked about. As the fight carried on, though, with the party's viciousness and Rollman's final decision to climb up and help or assist on the roof, they managed to make quick work of the last of the Smilodons, killing a total of 19 of them before the last one who had failed, I think, 6 times in a row to manage to get the jump. Oh no, he succeeded once and then failed his second jump check. That's right. The creatures managing to continuously fail the jump check and then disappearing, otherwise destroying and defeating the rest. The party would then do a little bit of investigating around town to find that not only were the Earth Elementals a summonable, it seemed, from these circles on the ground, but seemed to activate almost as if in a response. As well as looking around the town and finding a lot of blood and what looked to be a pretty gruesome area of battle near the largest house at the eastern end of the village. While the party decided to bunker down in the western side in the house that they had pretty much done battle upon, cutting up and cutting out the parts of the Smilodons that they wanted, the rest of the afternoon would go quite relaxing as the party would continue working away at this. Also, still noting the burn mark of the strange cloud with the sword dropping out of it that was branded onto the side of one of the wooden walls inside, over what looks to have been once the green apple sigil of a famous coven. However, as the party spends the rest of the afternoon, or rest of the evening, cutting away at these creatures, Rollman, you're on watch. Give me a quick search and listen check, if you wouldn't mind.
I got you.
For the first I assume you'll be taking the first watch as well for while people are sleeping.
Sure.
Okay.
That's the search.
Okay, 12, alright.
Listen. Not as good at listen.
Feel it. No, you are definitely not. I mean, the smell of cooking meat inside as the fire's getting kind of kicked off and started doesn't help the growling stomach that you've had since the beginning of the fight this afternoon. As you're kind of watching and looking off into the open fields, it's just heavy snow really everywhere you can see past about so many feet outside of the village. It just seems to be getting thicker as the blizzard seems to pick up. Though, again, noting it still seems to almost about 6, I think it was 30 or so feet from this back house, if I remember correctly, there seems to be almost a glimmer of light where the snow, as it makes contact, seems to shrink down from these large, thick flakes that are kind of piling up to small, almost dust-like particles as they are easily blown about in the wind that cuts through, allowing nearly no snow to build up around the town itself. But as you continue to watch and listen, I mean, the heavy winds and the smell of cooking meat catching your attention, nothing really goes on. It's almost kind of eerily quiet, Rollman, as you kind of watch on. To the rest of you, as you sit in the room, James and Cinder cutting away at the meat, Rad doing what he can to assist, Melvin kind of working away at figuring out his or some spells in his spell book, as well as taking a minute to gain a little bit of his health back as he relaxes. The evening continues to go on almost quietly. Oh, I remember the death flag now. Oh, yeah, I remember that, Cameron. Yeah, I remember. We got a long rest afterwards. Let me waste all my cantrips, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. You know, your Chaston was right. I wouldn't have remembered that if that hadn't been the fact you brought that up today. You know what, actually? That reminds me, good point. As you lot kind of spent the afternoon cutting away at this, the sun has set. It is almost pitch black out now at this point. Rollman, do you have dark vision?
I have low light vision.
Low light vision. Having a torch, probably I assume, sitting at the back of the door to look out and make it a little easier to see out further. It looks to be pretty clear as the evening continues on, and as it gets almost to the point where it is too dark to really see anything other than about out to your vision point. You can see you can smell and hear as the party begins to pull the meat off and kind of start serving it. As you look out one last time, you're pretty sure there's no creatures coming for miles, it looks like. At least for what you can see, as the clear, heavy snow looks to be too thick to traverse them.
I'll take some food, but I'll stay and watch.
Okay. As you head in and grab some food from the party, James and Cinder, as the evening's kind of getting on, at this point I'd say it's around like 7 p.m.-ish. The sun is down. It is dark out surprisingly early, and it almost with a heavy blizzard coming from what was earlier a clear and somewhat rainy day turned to snowy. What would either of you like to do while you see Rollman kind of come in, grab some of the meat, and head back out?
If everything's been processed, I will start taking the pelts. I will wrap some of them around the Emerald Fang and store it into the bag of holding to make sure it doesn't puncture it.
Yeah, I'd say about this point you've had most of the time to process the majority of it. I mean, not having had a rest yet, really, to gain back any spell slots. It's just been kind of sitting here working away at these from your last rolls. That's fine.
And then put the rest of the pelts in, and that basically fills my bag of holding at this point.
Like, jam them in, trying to fill every space.
I have 8 pounds left that I can fit in there, but that's it.
As you look at the, I'll read off what the party managed to get for those who are curious. A 25-pound yellow diamond, a 19 saber-tooth pelts, 285 teeth, and 2,736 pounds of meat from the saber-tooth. Big Tooth himself had his own pelt, about 15 teeth, 800 pounds of meat, and a 40-pound emerald and amethyst gemstone shaped fang, as well as 4 flowers of Death's Grace. That's also now on the record, so that way, in case we ever have to come back to that. But as you are kind of shoving away what you can, kind of looking up at the pile, James kind of eyeing and looking at your bag of holding, kind of doing calculations, trying to figure out what you can shove further in there. Cinder, is there anything else anything you'd like to do?
No, other than cooking some of the meat that I'm like the 50 pounds I'm planning on keeping, so it actually lasts longer. Okay. I'm probably gonna send Snow out to hang out with Rollman, and then I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. As you begin or head to or kind of curl yourself up, relaxing. Are you sleeping outside in the cold actually? Because I forget.
Of course I am.
Okay, so I assume you're just kind of grab some of the meat for yourself, and you and Snow that's been cooking, and kind of go and find your snow bag and kind of head outside next to Rollman at the porch and just kind of plop a squat.
Rollman gets to watch me snuggle in, and only my face is just peeking out of the snow.
I just raise an eyebrow, but don't say anything.
Okay, as you kind of sit there laying down, relaxing. Okay. And James, as you continue to work away at it, sorry, I'm looking up something real quick in the background, so I have a sheet pulled up. Will it let me pull up my sheet, please? Maybe? Go to character.
Note to self: buy like 5 more bags of holding.
I wouldn't do that. Give me a second. For some reason, this thing doesn't want to work for me today. Okay, well that's interesting. All right. Yeah. As you head out, James kind of staying in, continuing his work away at kind of eyeing up the meat and looking at what he can take with him. Cinder, as you step out, give me a listen and search check from both you and Snow. Or not search, sorry, spot in this situation.
Spot goes, thank God, because did you know animals all have like a -4 to search?
I'm not even
not very high
surprised.
intelligence, isn't it?
Well, yeah, animals do spot checks.
Gotcha.
I'm good at listen, so
I mean, I'd hope.
start with a good listen. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
With listen.
17, okay. And that's listen for both you and then
Yeah.
Snow? Okay.
The first is mine, the second is Snow's.
Okay. And then
This will be
spot.
Snow's spot check.
26.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Look at you go.
Am I good at spot
Nat 20.
checks? I don't think I'm good at spot checks. I'm okay at spot checks. I'm a +5. It's somewhat alright.
Okay. As you kind of go out to join Rollman, kind of shutting the door behind you, the heavy wooden door kind of slamming as it does, the warmth of the heat kind of off your back as you snuggle into the your bag next to Rollman. Snow kind of leaning up against you as you prop yourself up against the wall and kind of sit there, kind of shimmying down to the ground, enjoying the coldness of the snow. As you and Snow are looking out and kind of listening, chewing on the meat, kind of quietly enjoying, Rollman kind of looking over at you every once in a while. You notice there seems to be a figure kind of almost traversing through the snow. It's quite clear, almost about almost a mile out into the thick blizzard. There is a wide bit of snow just falling in on itself as if someone's trying to push themselves through. And at a slow pace, might that be, of almost a foot, it looks like every 6 seconds, as they are buried easily beneath the snow, as you can't see the top of their head, only catching the sight of it. You do catch, and I must ask, do you speak Ignan?
I do not. I speak Aquan.
Then you do hear the sounds of someone, or rather, you do hear the sounds of some creature almost irritatedly and angrily sounding, yelling something, and then the sounds of something melting quite quickly, and then more yelling.
Now, since I speak an elemental, would I at least recognize that it is an elemental language?
Yes.
With what it's
Roughly, you'd guess that it does sound roughly infernal from you, or not infernal. Sorry.
fire element.
Yes. There's a yes.
I kind of like lightly elbow Rollman and just like flick my head and where I like see and hear the creature from.
Do I pick up on it?
Give me a listen check.
And Syndros go, I hear something. Someone's coming.
Listen.
20 listen. You do Ignan, that's it. Do you speak Ignan? Or no. Okay. You
do I hear them speaking?
Actually, you know it's funny. Actually, I just realized there's something. You do both speak Dwarvish, right?
Yeah.
I'm a dwarf.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Well, a guy asked, he said, technically, that also gives you a bit of a bonus to understanding this, apparently, because apparently this is something normal, which I didn't know that Ignan and Dwarvish are similar design. Okay. As apparently the elemental languages in Primordial are similar to Dwarvish. You do hear a creature seemingly, it sounds like almost swearing or yelling angrily Rollman, as it seems to be trying to head towards your direction. As Cinder points towards it, you do see the clear showing of the snow kind of falling in on itself, but it doesn't look like there's anything out there.
I'll go make sure everyone's awake inside.
Do you want me to go check it out? I can get in and out pretty fast.
Sure, I'll wake everybody up while you do that.
Alright. I have a lot of first level spells. I'm going to ice skate over there with my, 85-foot movement speed?
Rollman says, "Wake everyone up," as he opens the door and sees James kind of working away at crafting still and eating his meat.
I'm wrapping stuff. I'm munching. I have a little skewer of meat there, just
rat over in the corner.
something in a bag.
And get some sleep, man. But not right now, because we're at company. But after this is solved, you should probably get some rest.
That's the plan. I want to get what I can in the bag to lighten our load for tomorrow, because there's a lot of fucking teeth here.
James says he kind of gets himself up and starts walking over towards the door, putting the stuff he was fiddling with on the ground.
When they get within 20 feet, can I get a view of how they look due to my tremor sense?
I mean, they're not gonna get that close yet.
I'm gonna see them in person. I just need it off to meet them a mile away.
Tremor, yes. If they are touching the ground, in theory, yes, I'll let you know. But yeah, as you kind of step to the door, kind of still staying in the slight warmth, and letting the wind kind of just hit your face as it does. We jump over to Cinder as Cinder starts ice skating over the snow, rushing out. What's your movement speed, Cinder?
Right now, 85.
85 feet?
Without. If I'm running, I believe my armor's 4 times.
Let me see.
340.
Okay, so let me do something real quick. So 340?
Yep. It's like speed skating.
Okay, let me, if I can actually do math today. I swear, I promise I can. Yeah, as you start rushing over there, it takes a few minutes of you kind of skating through, as you see this person is not making quick progress whatsoever, seemingly cursing more and more as little bits of light seem to glow for a moment in between what sounds like swear words, as it doesn't take you much, Cinder, to guesstimate what that is with the anger and animosity that's coming off this individual. As then a light seems to gleam and the sounds of rushing water can be heard, and then more swearing continues. But as you get close, kind of looking down into the hole and into the trail, it's about almost a 10-foot deep hole of just nothing but snow, and you still don't see the ground below. But as you look down to see the person, you recognize an 8-foot tall, red-haired, with two cat-like ears and 2 small horns sticking out, Jakix Morin.
I'm gonna make sure he knows I'm approaching. I'm not being being loud, but not being quiet with how I'm walking towards him.
Kind of letting the snow crunch a little bit under your feet as you pass through.
Well, yeah, because I have to do it because I don't believe I moved the snow, so I have to do it on purpose. Because I don't want to get right behind him and him throw a spell at me because he gets fucking surprised and behind it.
Yeah, as you come moving up to the edge of it, looking out, you see the trail to the forest that looks like this that he's been going through. As he looks up at you, he is covered in damp. His merchant attire is soaked through, and he looks like he has just had a day. As he kind of looks up at you with almost a slight glare and goes, "You just had to choose the coldest fucking place in the world.
Would you like a hand?"
He kind of looks up at you and then holds out his hand.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast Snow Walk. He can walk on top of the snow without going through it.
As you cast it, he kind of steps onto the snow and kind of walks up and goes, "Oh, fucking criminy, I've been melting snow for hours."
So why are you here?
Yeah, I came to make an offer to you, but I don't know now if it's at all worth it. If you are not willing to do this, I don't think anything I can offer you would actually be worth the time, as he kind of shivers, slightly blowing into his hands.
Okay, look. I don't know you that well. However, there's already rumors that we work for you and that we're apparently going to become criminals. Why do you keep coming to us?
I have an offer, something that, and unfortunately, your compatriots, specifically your captain, is a key feature in the game that's to be played, whether he knows it or not. I'd like to make sure that piece moves in a direction that doesn't mess up my plans and doesn't ruin his own. So, Think of this as a mutual benefit this time. If you have no interest, I can leave on now, but I can tell you right now I wouldn't return to Velkomen if I were you.
Why?
Rig and Utham should soon be hearing the truth of what's going on behind that true resurrection spell, and he's not going to be too happy when he finds out that your compatriot Face is behind it. Kind of smiles a devious smile at that.
You mean the weird one that won't talk to me?
I have no understanding of your personal relations with your own crew, but the one with the mask that seems yet quite childish.
Yeah, the weird one that won't talk to me. His Cinder's not himself.
Now, would your captain be interested in my information as well as a little bit about who that individual is? Or should I... As he looks down at the trail where the little bits of some water that was there is already freezing over, creating a glimmering ice.
Well, I don't think I could stop you if I tried. I won't stop you, as I'll just keep walking towards the building. I don't control my nephew's life.
You're a Frosthorn or Frosthammer or Treasurehorn?
None of the above.
He nods at that and goes, interesting.
Side family. Not important.
You wouldn't happen to be the Snowbeard that I've been hearing rumor of escaping the dragon pit and trying to bite one of the Dragon Lord's tails when it was sleeping, would you?
Cinder just stops walking.
Ah, interesting. I have a proposition then for you that of information you might have that might be of benefit to both of us.
I slowly turned him, and the hair above my different eyes starts to rise away from that eye as I stare at him.
Look at you, kind of like raise an eyebrow and go, "Oh, is there something you want to tell me? I pinched a nerve?"
Make your offer before we get there if it's related to that.
Oh, no. That's between me and you. Your secrets are your own. I do not plan to reveal any of your positioning. I just figured I'd make the proposition in case you were interested.
I'll always at least hear out an offer. I'll go back to walking.
The one you knew who ran those pits, they have an interest in you, and I found out exactly what they were planning to do with you. Would you like that research and those notes? All I ask is in exchange, I need to know where the location of the place is from your memories. If I can get that, I can get the information, and bring it back to you. In exchange, I get the things in that place that I need, not information on you, to make very clear, and I will be happy to sign a pact to that. My interest lies in the eggs that were down below. I'm curious what those dragons were up to and why they're doing it. As anyone should be, I imagine.
That's all you want.
True.
Where the pits are.
Yes, that's an information that's quite guarded. It's not exactly like people just walk around with that knowledge in their head that are easily picked apart and having their memories grabbed by an individual such as myself.
I don't think I can give you a written thing. I don't think you want my memories. My mind's kind of the pits didn't do me well for my mental state.
It's better if I can see it, as it'll make it easier for what I plan to do. I have acquired a spell scroll that is of high value, let's say, and it would make it much easier to accomplish this task if I can see. Again, okay. I promise, and I will give my word, or any requested pacts, to not go through any of your other memories. I truly do not seek any ill will towards you or your company.
I'll give my only requirements if you're going to go bumbling about my head.
He nods.
Obviously, you won't look at my other memories. Whatever you do won't drag back to me somehow if you do something while you're there.
No. Shouldn't.
You show up around us at least a little less often. We keep getting dragged into your things when we're really trying to avoid whatever you're doing.
That's actually funny. You mentioned that I'm actually trying to assist and keep you lot alive, as our recent changes have aligned our interests, which is why I'm here.
Fine. Feel free to grab that specific memory.
I can do so after I speak with your captain. I think it would be better if we make sure he is on board with the other options before I go gallivanting and making side deals with you. Better not to make him have ill will towards you for back dealings.
All right. You want to make the long walk in the cold, or I'm going to carry you and be there in about a minute?
I can make quite a faster movement now that I'm not tempered down, as he will speed off at 600 feet per round.
Jesus Christ.
To note, as you see him kind of step forward, his legs seem to increase in size, and the muscle you can hear cracking and tearing apart and almost reforming as they expand to almost look like the Hanma legs as you see this individual start charging off.
Well, that's not horrifying at all, as he'll start ice skating at full speed.
Trying to keep up at half his speed, yeah. As you see this individual start charging towards you, Rollerman and James, give me spot checks to see if you can tell enough about the features of this individual to tell who this is coming up towards you.
Any bonuses from my tremor, or is it DC
Unfortunately,
reduced?
he's on top of the snow now, so there is nothing your tremor sense can
Also,
touch.
that's only within 20 feet.
Yeah, you are spotting him as he's coming up in the distance, so...
Your tremor activates, he's going to your face.
13.
Oof. Okay.
Not a good day for me.
Come on, Rollman. Let's see if that D&D Beyond 20 will keep you going. Well,
13.
not bad. Both of you are able to make out a heavy blotch of red, and with this much red, there's not many individuals who wear one single color to this degree. Other than Zarius that you've seen, it's not hard to tell who this is coming up.
I'm gonna go inside and cover Melvin up. I don't want Jakix seeing Melvin, or Melvin seeing Jakix at this point, because I feel like that's gonna cause something bad to happen.
I will say Melvin is still out cold snoring.
Yeah, but he is connected to something that can see through his senses.
Okay.
I'm erring on the side of caution.
That's fine, yeah. Are you just gonna toss some of the leather pelts onto him, or are you gonna just cover him up with
his bedroll? Then I will step outside and wave for Rollman to follow me and step outside and shut the door.
Okay.
I'll do so. I'll close the door.
Yep. As you close the door behind you, still the torch kind of a little bit above you, hanging on the wall sconce on the outside, giving about a dim light about 30 feet out, and pretty much a low light from there, another 30 feet. As he continues to kind of coming up, as he gets within about 50 feet, you see him kind of come to a stop, putting his hands up and waiting for Cinder to catch up. As he kind of looks back at you, James, and continues just standing there, hands up, not saying a word, not looking at you, trying to make direct eye contact, and just as Cinder finally catches up, looks over at you, James, and goes, "I come in peace. I'm willing to offer my word that no harm will come to you while I'm here. Or I will at least defend you with my life."
I know you're good on your fucking word, get over here, but we're not going inside.
He kind of puts his hands down and starts kind of walking forward.
Also, try to hide your voice and keep it down. I don't want the one inside hearing it with what he might be connected to.
What, do you got Regan Utham in there? As he kind of laughs at that.
No, something that might be connected to somewhere with a lot of platinum.
Yeah, looks at you for a second and raises an eyebrow and shrugs and goes, "Well, whatever you say. Not very concerned personally. I've already dealt with that individual's guards before. But I do apologize for bothering you at such a late time in the evening. The city of Velcomen isn't quite welcoming right now due to your compatriot. And so when I tried to arrive there under disguise to leave and exit the territory to avoid Regan Utham's ire, I found myself kind of caught up in something I thought might interest you and made me realize that a deal might be on the table for both of our benefits.
Let's hear what you have in mind. I'm gonna say this now. I will constantly be sensing motive here. I don't trust this man as far as I could throw him.
Okay. Roll me a sense motive real quick in the background.
I don't think you can throw him with your build.
God damn it, Seth. I can never sense this man's motive.
Let me double check something.
Fucking 11.
All right, I will have him roll this to see how this goes before I speak.
There was a chance.
He goes, well, when I arrived back at Velcomen after your the True Resurrection incident, I had taken on the figure of a compatriot of mine to escape the territory. I ran into a old compatriot of mine, one that you've hired on, one that wears a mask that you call Face.
Aye, he was purchased. Not.
Yeah, purchase isn't the word I think you should be using in this situation, but that'll cost you extra if you want to know that answer. As I was there, though, I ran into him and found him looking into the eyes of Regan Utham amongst the construction, almost holding him at the throat, while all the rest of the creatures went around, as if glaring into him, and I saw the red eyes of my, former god. I must warn that I think that because of this, you may be in quite a bit of trouble. I did want to make clear I did not have anything to do with this. I was just as shocked as you to see someone of Regan Utham brought to kneel by being I thought to be less powerful than myself. But truly, that was a ego check into its own right as he kind of rubs his forehead a little bit. But what I offer, and why I mention this and I bring this up, is that you have a problem with Face, and I have an interest in taking care of it. I think our goals will align.
Aye, they will, and I can even give you a little bit of information that I've learned.
Well, hear me
from
out.
the last year that might shock you about him.
As he looks over at Rollman, who's, I imagine, glaring daggers at you right now.
Let the man speak. I tell James.
When I was there, I realized I don't think I can deal with Face or take him out myself, but I have a plan on how to rid you of him. I would like for us to form a deal, a working together, as I've had a recent falling out with my backer. And am now finding myself independent and looking for a new plan of attack. And an individual...
Is it out of game again? This is
Yeah.
the second time you saw Faithless backer.
As he continues, he goes, and I have a new person on my list that I need to rid myself of personally. So, I offer you two things. One, I will remove Face from your service without any detriment to you or your cohort here. I can't promise your reputation won't be dinged, but I can promise it will not be dinged to a point where you would not be able to do business anywhere in the world. It would be at most a minor scuffle amongst employees that you'd have to explain to people. And I can remove Face with that. And second, the creature you're looking for, I have a lead on. And I can give you that lead. But I require two things from you. I require to be allowed to join you, not actively, as I'll explain, when you meet with this individual you're searching, as I have questions of my own that I need answered. But secondly, I would ask for your assistance with something. I need information on an individual that you have met, that I have very little knowledge of other than his dealings with being in the platinum mines, as you put it, and our benefactor Regan Utham, as he kind of smiles and kind of gives a light laugh at that as he waves over towards the mountains in the distance. What do you say?
I'd have conditions for this.
you'd ask a condition for me to take care of something completely, and
There is one
ask.
There's one condition on joining us. When we find the creature, no one can know it's you. I'd rather not get our names too tangled, given your current reputation in the world, as that would also bring much more detriment and much more damage.
Kind of smiles and nods at that and goes, "It's true. My reputation does make it easier to make force pacts on weaker-minded individuals. And those who don't see what's going on still see me as a villain, but I don't think you'll have to worry much longer, given what's coming. But fine, I'll agree to those terms."
That's the only term I really have to set. Is there any argument from you two? As I'll look to Cinder and Rollman.
This is your decision.
I have a question.
He looks over at Cinder, nods.
Not quite related to what we're talking about, but it kind of is. So, why are there multiple of you that seem to not share information directly?
That's not... You misunderstand something. He kind of looks at you for a second, looks you up and down, and goes, "Is this a requirement for me to answer for this deal to go through?"
No concern. Are they actually tied to you, or are there like 7 of you with different agendas?
All I will answer is that the Morin family is bountiful, and that we are all one, but yet separated by our rankings. However, the individual you see is, yes, that is me. If you see me somewhere else, that is me, no matter what form I take. I can transform my shape at will, as he takes the form of Ulk, almost immediately looking like the mongrel folk you recognize from the Tabaxi lands of Manus Grove.
Well, Cinder wouldn't. Rollman and I would.
Yep. As he turns to this tiny little, short, humanoid, fleshy, goblin-like figure, and then retransforms back and goes, "I think we've already met in that form, if I do recall."
I
And
can agree to this deal.
He snaps his fingers and he turns himself into James and goes, "I can even take on," as he speaks almost identically, his words sounding like they're coming from James himself, "those I've seen." He snaps back and turns back to normal. Go ahead, Rollman, sorry.
When you were the form of Ulk, though, you had some sort of cursed artifact.
Yes, no, you saw my companion, Ulk. You did not see me. You also saw me. My companion does carry a cursed item. I do not. Like I mentioned, I can take the forms of anything. In fact, we've actually been met multiple times as he transforms and he looks like the woodwalker that hung himself and goes, "You probably recognize this face." And let me see. And he transforms himself into the, I believe, Corix, immediately looking at each of you and goes, "What is this?" As you recognize the dragon who roared. I believe it was Corix, right? That roared over the.
No, it was
Sisormic, sorry.
It was,
as he turns into the giant green emerald dragon. Yeah, that's right.
As he's doing each of these transformations, can I try and see if there's something that stays constant with every transformation?
Give me a search check, yeah.
I would like to try and sense his magic to try and get a feel for it so I can tell him apart.
Give me a spellcraft.
I don't want to be caught off guard anymore.
I'll spellcraft as well. Why not? Make it a party chat.
God damn it! 1.
Don't worry. Now hold on. I got this. I'm good at this. Don't worry.
There you go.
I've been getting better. I've been practicing.
15.
Okay. So for the 16, as you look about, the only thing that stays the same is his eyes seem to have the almost identical design to them. Not the color, but almost like the pupil and everything is almost identical in every way. The only thing shifting seemingly the color and then the shape of the eye. But that's the only thing that kind of catches your attention upon a quick glance.
Okay.
You
I
also
think I make note of that.
You also kind of notice his muscle mass does seem to vary quite heavily, but something seems almost strange, like he doesn't grow stronger. It's almost as something about the transformations almost look to be identical in the same power. Though you're unsure if that's an actual tell or if that's something he's trying to do on purpose.
Okay. But the eye thing seems.
The eye thing seems, that seems legitimate. Like he's not noticing that, and you can clearly tell that.
Okay, I keep that to myself.
And then James, you're not sure what this magic is. It seems to be almost similar to an ancient spell you've heard tales of. That once existed called True Polymorph. Although it was a myth long ago to have existed. And is a spell that most people think it would be literally impossible to cast in the modern era due to the vast majority of creatures that this could turn into. It would be take too much magic to cast it. Cinder, as you look about this looks like this is a natural ability of this individual. He is not casting. He hasn't spoken a word. He has not moved his hands, and he is not using any materials. Whatever this creature or person is a being that can shapeshift into pretty much whatever it seems to want to and mimic perfectly.
With Cinder's thought of thinking this guy's most likely a fiend, right?
Yes, I will say, I will give you that. It's pretty clear he's a fiend.
Is there any similar breed of fiend that I can think of that can like do anything? Because I know some of like an alternate form.
Give me a. That's an interesting one. Give me a knowledge arcana.
Would it be planes, perhaps, for fiends?
Not in this situation because of the fiends well, it depends. Which fiends are you thinking of? Are you talking about the House of Closen, like the devils, or are you talking more demons? Because technically your party. So I'll take a knowledge planes than that. Yeah.
I fucking hate you, Grumpy. I'm not as good as planes.
I'm sorry, man.
I fucking hate you.
And
nice.
you still critted.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I had my fucking Arcana 9.
As you kind of take a look, this creature almost immediately you recognize it's not a fiend. This is a creature that almost tries to mimic fiends, and we're known to stay around demons and devils at all times. Very commonly raised amongst them because of their cannibalistic nature and interest in eating creatures of powerful magic. In fact, this is one of the races that you would know yourself after listening in your cell that the dragons themselves in the pits believed was the link to where the elves got their amazing ability to consume magic, and that would be a Jabrin.
Writing this.
Yeah, if you want to know how to spell that, it is Jaebrin. And it's if you're looking up in races for D&D, it's a Jabrins, so there's an S at the end.
Yeah, I just wrote it down on my fucking Cinder notes page. I think I'm sitting behind Jakix, right? Because that's where I was.
Yeah, behind and to his left, yeah, roughly.
Yeah. James Bowman would see hard at Jakix, and suddenly his eyes widen like he realizes something, and then he like reschools his features.
It's an interesting, powerful ability. I do have a question about your underling with the curse artifact. Do you mind telling me where you got it? Just for curiosity's sake.
Oh, my family's home is in a land you lot, I believe, call a cursed land. Many artifacts from an ancient time seem to be there, and many are prankster-like items. He could have also picked it up in any of our many tomb delves. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure. We've been traveling so long together. Could have been in anywhere. If I had to narrow it down, he kind of takes a second, like rubs his chin with his hand and goes, I would say it'd have to be one of the tombs near where Regan Utham has settled, or it would be the northern island of my family's homeland.
Can I do a assessment to see if he's lying?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just saying comedy, if we do a tomb delve, all three parties will have done a tomb delve within like 3 weeks of each.
Roland's just doing this just to see if he'll just lie impulsively or not.
Let's see if Roland's dice roller keeps him up.
22.
He is not lying, at least that you can tell. He seems to be telling the truth as far as he understands it.
Okay.
And I always have to make that very specific because, So, but yeah. He looks over at you lot and goes, Now, about our deal, and then with this exchange of the offer, beyond the gin and dealing with that it settles itself with me being able to ask its questions. I don't mind if you're in the room while I ask the questions. There's only 3, in fact, questions I have for the creature. But for the dealing with face, your assistance would be needed for this individual that I'm now dealing with. If you are willing to agree to a temporary alliance, I don't need you to kill him, I just need information on the individual gathered and tracked down while I'm going about settling my own plans. Is this acceptable in exchange for these 2 services?
More than acceptable.
Will you provide where we get this information from?
I'll tell you who the individual is and where I think you can track down leads. I can't tell you where to get the information, otherwise I wouldn't need you lot to do it, but I can give you a starting point to how to gather it. I have other, as he kind of gives a side eye over at Cinder, jobs I need to take care of, unfortunately, first.
Understandable, you're probably a busy man.
He nods at that, and he holds his hand out towards James, looking to see if he'll shake it.
James will shake his hand.
James, you feel magic kind of flow through you as it does, a pact feeling as if it's been sealed, your divinity kind of driven to almost assert your position. And Jakik seems to smile and nod and goes, "Perfect. Now, with that mentioned, what would you like to know about that little group of evil that you found? I know you found my list."
Oh, you mean this one? As I pull out the list, because I have made copies upon copies of this damn thing.
He looks at it and kind of looks you down, up and down, and goes, would you like some free advice as a goodwill gesture for our new alliance?"
That would be appreciated.
"The one you know... Oh, really, none of these individuals are worth anything to you right now. In about 2 months, maybe 3, depending on the situation, I have it on good sources that a being known as Meadmancer will be released onto the waves, a pirate lord of an ancient period, quite powerful, capable of bringing individuals like Regan Utham to kneel at a whim, and one's with a bit of an ego and ambition."
How does something like that just suddenly appear?
James is immediately going to look and go, "This sounds a lot like something that happened in Terrasitus' lands. At a little illegal market."
I unfortunately will have confirmed that a group has managed to get a hold of a item that was being shipped, and I expect them to, well, if the foresight or the clairvoyance I have paid so highly for is correct, they will sell it to an individual you lot, and I am already very familiar with, an individual named Zarius. I fear...
Oh, poor man.
That when he gets this object, he will be overcome by the creature. And with that, the being that I have been doing research on will manage to steal the body of Zarius and implement his will. With that in mind, neither the skies nor the seas will be safe, as this individual is ambitious as any other and quite capable. I'd put him as a fighter leveled at the same as the King Movasi, and as intelligent as Regan Utham. This is not one of those types that you would call an easy target. So, my advice to you lot, keep low and stay out of the seas for quite a while.
You have no desire to stop this from happening?
I'd like him dead, but there's not much I can do for it. And unfortunately, the group who's going to sell this item are too powerful for me to deal with.
Shame.
They have a god's blessing, if you will. One of chaos, but God nonetheless.
I'm sure this will cause a lot of chaos, huh?
He kind of looks at you and just gives a saddened look and goes, "Business for all of us would be bad. Let's put it at that. I don't want to see these beings rise any more than you do, as they are..." He kind of waves his hand and creates some flowers in the air out of almost out of his magic, and goes, "Quite powerful in comparison. We are like ants compared to elephants in this situation." But with that, as he kind of smiles and goes, "I assume you're not going to invite me in for a bite to eat," as he looks at the closed door behind James and Roman is sort of guarding it.
I hand him my unfinished steak of meat.
He takes it happily and takes a bite of it, and as he hands it back to you, and start kind of chewing on it and goes, Actually, quite tasty. What do you call this?
And smile it on.
I might have to hunt me some while I'm out here. So, I guess then,
There'll be a bunch of meat left over. You're welcome to it in this instance.
if you wouldn't mind selling me some, I have, he kind of pulls out his coin purse and counts out a couple of coins. He goes, 100 gold pieces. I can take about 200 pounds worth of, really meat in general, for my voyage.
I'll go grab that if no one objects.
Go ahead and go grab it.
Go section off 200 pounds.
Yeah, as you head into
I'll
the
go
house,
back to the
Roland, and kind of close the door behind you, heading inside. Melvin's still snoring quietly on the side as you go to cut up some of the meat.
Well, it was already packaged and set apart by James, right?
Technically, yes, it was. It's true.
Okay.
Yeah, because I forgot James was rationing it. Yep. Yeah, as you count out some chunks of it, getting enough of it, and bring it out after a few moments. While that's going on, James and Cinder, Jakix kind of just looks at you both and goes, "So, great weather we're having, isn't it?" As he looks up at the snow.
Reminds me of home.
I don't know why you would want to go home. I know I surely don't.
Oh, I don't want to. I'm enjoying seeing the world, but places that give you a feeling of nostalgia can be powerful.
He nods.
Cinder's just like looking at the snow, enjoying his like cold armor on his skin. He's cold.
She kicks his ship.
Aside from all of this, I would recommend you try to clean up your reputation a little faster.
Says the individual who's got a bounty of 2 billion gold pieces on his head.
Not from my own doing. If you look into that, that is from a family dealing.
And you think it was my own doing that got me caught? It was you lot getting in my way constantly that got me in trouble or noticed by individuals or that those other lot.
You ate the magic of an entire city. That would have been noticed pretty quickly.
I was doing that because if I didn't, the creature beneath the town was going to set off a massive magical ritual and devour the city whole and then go hunting the Regan himself. Now, did I gain some power out of it? Yes, by no means was this a selfish plan, but I also want to note I saved more lives than I didn't, and I'm the reason that the Pale Eye managed to get killed. He was forced out of his hive because of that.
No good deed goes unpunished.
You don't tell anyone that's why you were doing it because...
Well, as soon as I mentioned the part about taking their magic as a benefit to me, no one's going to exactly think I'm a good person.
I have an odd feeling the Regan would want you dead a lot less if he knew you were helping rather than just fucking over his town.
Well, to be fair, I'm kind of trying to see him unseated. He does kind of unsettle me. I don't think an individual that cold and full of himself should be in power. The people eventually get tired of him, or his heirs will become just as arrogant and lack the capability that he had.
Come out with the meat now.
Yeah, as you kind of walk out the door hearing this, he looks over and goes, "Oh, I truly appreciate that." As he kind of like takes over and starts shoving into his large bag of holding and kind of does so.
More than we can carry.
I really appreciate that. As he hands you over the small bag of coin and goes, "I lost my airship unfortunately, and having fallen out with the Black Bones and the other members of my group, I unfortunately don't have a ride anymore."
What'd you do that made them hate you?
That's not a story yet I can trust you with, but
Fair enough.
I think the best I can give you, out of a kindness and out of show, again, goodwill towards our alliance here. Let's just say our views have differed when support wasn't given as it was expected. If I scratch your back, you should scratch mine. As he kind of gives
Use your back go unscratched.
Go ahead, Cinder, and roll the religion. He kind of looks at you and raises an eyebrow at that Rollman and goes, "In fact, it does, but I don't." As he kind of glances over at James quickly and then looks back at you, Rollman, and continues, "I don't think it will any longer." Do, young James, become a great god that can rise above. I see a great future for you that will be beneficial for all who seek a similar goals. As he kind of turns and starts
I
walking
just
into
want
the
to
snow.
enjoy my life as I please. I don't think that's something a god should do.
As you
Dogs are usually burning with purpose.
as you two say this, Kix kind of seems to wave at you, wave as he with his back already turned, walking into the snowy blizzard again. Cinder, do you want this in a PM or do you want me to say this out loud? It's up to you.
I'm probably
Anyways.
gonna.
Huh?
Just go ahead.
All right.
Just go ahead.
You do recognize there looks to be a cracked mark on Jakix that he is carrying. Give me a moment to pull up a note here.
Now, when you say cracked, like the crack is part of the mark or it's broken?
It looks like the holy symbol is broken, as if someone either purposely broke it or it has been cracked by accident. Just give me a moment because my world anvil takes a second to load.
I have an odd feeling that if it was an accident, he would have a new holy symbol. So,
Yeah, you recognize an hourglass held by two dragons on either side. The hourglass seemingly is split down the middle. The stand seems to have vanished out of it, and the dragons' heads have both been almost cracked off.
I swear I've seen this symbol before. Oh, what god is that?
With roll religion for, or well, actually, with your knowledge religion, you would recognize this as, you'd recognize the symbol as the same symbol on the back of James's neck.
Cataclysm.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Cataclysm doesn't like him.
As
I'm
Jakix
gonna wait
heads.
till he's gone to tell the party some things.
I will mention, as he steps into the barrier, you suddenly feel in your head for a moment, Cinder, someone plunging into your memories, and then the feeling vanish as a thumbs up is given by the figure as he disappears into the darkness.
Why do you thumbs up? What was that about?
He's weird and creepy, but
He
if he's
appreciated
truly...
the. I cast Snow Walk on him. He was having a really hard time.
Ah, I see. That is.
I looked down to the snowshoes I gave Roland and myself. It's like,
There's a very long melted path he made trying to push through the snow to get here.
He really wanted this deal then, huh?
well, he's kind of backed into a corner, which led to a
Oh.
deal that's better for us.
Now that he's gone, I got a question. You two know what he is? Do you ever realize?
He's
Some
some
sort of
form of
fiend.
fiend,
No.
I do believe.
No.
What is he?
He's a predecessor of the elves.
Really?
That's horrifying, given what Roland has told me of the elves.
Yeah, he's not related to the fiend.
What'd you say it was?
He's a Jabrin.
Do I know what a Jabrin is?
Give me a knowledge history.
Okay.
Cannibalistic creatures. Ones the elves got that ability from.
Let's see if Rowan knows of his ancestry. Oh, it's taken him at 18.
18. You have no idea. You've never heard this term before in your life.
The elders never spoke of any ancestors of elves like that.
I'm not surprised. When I say ancestors, well, you can imagine how long ago.
Huh. Never heard of that.
Also,
before.
not to insult, your people don't exactly keep
They don't
long
keep
record.
written records. There's, oral.
Yes, but oral traditions usually only go back so far.
Of course.
And the stories end up twisted one way or another.
That's how
It
stories
is
work.
the nature of story to story, yes. Also, whatever he's tied to, was tied to. Seems to
Cataclysm.
Yeah, his holy symbol was snapped in half.
Interesting. No.
Had to ask in the background. I was curious.
Nope, I do not.
All right.
Well, let's get inside and rest.
Yep, you guys get some rest. I can still watch some more. Actually, get some rest, not sort pelts and
Organization is important. We are fucking merchants.
I just shimmy back into the snow and just lay down.
I go inside. I'm gonna if the sorting's done, then I'll head to
You
Reddit
see,
as long as my bag is filled.
The neat pile of rations of meat you had are not neat anymore because I was rummaging at them.
Oh, I stack them back up.
It's 2 in the morning.
As James kind of like says this outside, opening the door seems to open and it loudly kind of like knocks against the wall as it hits it. As James kind of looks back, none of you really paying attention to the noise, the sounds of the fire inside crackling, as you lot are talking, as you begin to notice the snow around the little sparklets of snow seem to almost be pushed away by the heavy wings that start to weigh or flap down as wind is shoved away, and you begin to feel almost like a tornado coming down on you of wind from above.
Son of a bitch!
What the hell is that?
As you look up and see a large skeleton dragon,
What the
a zombie wyvern-like creature flapping its wing, and a skeleton wyvern with green-like bones flapping about.
Nope, not the.
Are they like coming to land on us? Or
They
just flapping?
are look to be flying over the town and flying about. They have not noticed, however, they seem to be coming looking towards your direction, as if they heard James is opening the door.
Get inside. Be quiet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're snowbed.
Scuttling. Give me some move silently and hide checks, everyone.
Fucking god.
Does
Damn,
James
this-
need to since he's already inside?
Yeah. Well, he does have to do for the move silent. For the hide check. He doesn't have to do the move silent.
Once we're in, I'm whispering to James, "You fucking idiot."
You blow out the fire, letting the winds kind of come in, kind of covering the smoke down.
Where the hell move silent?
17 move silent. It's probably the best I'm getting. I only have +3.
It's under martial lore for
Say,
you.
man.
Should be right after that.
Probably I'm good at hide either. You know, shockingly, the druid is not stealth built.
17 move silent. That's not bad. And you also want to hide, right?
No, yeah, move silent, hide from Rollman and Cinder. And then just a hide from James.
Hey.
17 and 22.
17, 18.
22. Okay, 17, 18.
I'm making sure I don't have I do have an armor check penalty to this. Okay.
You do not have to apply the armor check penalty because you're just sitting there. You're just not moving. That's the whole point. So,
Okay. Then I only get that turns a -4 to a +2. Fucking 10.
I have to make a.
Cinder, as you kind of quiet yourself down, having been used to staying still in the forest for hours to watch for prey coming through and getting into your traps, or to ambush creatures and such, you manage to easily quiet down your breathing and slow it down to such shallow breaths it looks like you're not moving and you do not make a sound as you almost vanish into the background. Rolliman quietly seems to find himself in an area as well, a corner by the entrance, just out of the way of the doorway where he can quietly sit down. His armor seems to make a little bit of noise as he does, but otherwise the metal of the sword seems to just make a light thud before he sits. James, as you kind of see Cinder and Rollman kind of come sneaking in, quietly whispering this to you, kind of catching the clue, you sit down immediately as your armor kind of makes a bit of loud dinging noises as you do so, almost like a bell or a pot being hit. As Cinder comments this over to you.
I'll touch it to quiet it, to quickly silence it. And
It does almost immediately, but as you do, you'll hear and feel the ground underneath you and the entire building shudder as something heavy just lands on the building, roaring out a deep roar as you hear this creature in Draconic go. Well, first off, do any of you speak Draconic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I figure.
Yeah.
I figure I'd save myself the trouble here, but alright.
I think it's the one language the entire party speaks.
You hear this like withered old female voice go, "Come out, little boys, I can smell you. Like my sons, I'm going to turn you into puppets."
James, you ever slam a door in the wilderness again? First.
I just want to finger up to my mouth. So be quiet.
She is going to do another listen check. Everyone give me another hide check.
I'm gonna check for something.
Alright. So the wind eerily blows outside, kind of
21.
making the wood crack in the sound. 21. Oh no.
22.
Oh no.
Dude, I have a +3. I had
You too,
natural.
man.
Oh no.
I have one thing I can do that'll drive off anything, but we're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Are you gonna do it?
How about you wait and see? 'Cause
I'm
we don't know
waiting
if we fail
first,
or not.
but
Okay,
If
I
we
want to make
fail-
sure. As you hear the cracking of the wood, as the building kind of feels like it's almost being shoved into the ground, as everything begins to shake, the sound of the dirt outside being pushed, and the wood cracking under the pressure slightly, as you see some of the logs splintering, as the creature seems to take off into the air. Again, you hear the voice go, "I know you're somewhere, little boys. I'm going to turn you into my children."
It's fucking weird.
As the creature seems to flap about. As it does, a few seconds go by before you hear across the street something go off. Give me a listen check, each of you.
Why'd you have to remind him about the death flag, Cameron? Why? Right before session, too. Like 30 minutes before
Well,
session.
Cameron just likes reminding you of things. I don't know why.
12, okay.
He likes doing it right before session, too, so DM doesn't forget. What's 12? 27.
27, okay. Alright. Give me a 9. Oof. As you listen in, you hear the loud sounds of the, slamming across the street very clearly, as this creature doesn't seem to be hiding its presence. Still hearing the wings of the other two creatures flapping about, all about, almost seemingly circling around the village itself slowly. You each begin. Firstly, let me get a will save from each of you.
Thank you.
Is this a spell effect?
This is a spell effect. Do you have
Oh,
spell
better.
resistance?
I don't think that's spell resistance.
Okay.
No, it's not that. I just get a bonus to these to saves against spell effects.
Oh, okay.
26.
26. Okay.
Really high roll saves.
You succeed.
26.
23.
Shit. Never mind. All right. You hear the creature seemingly speaking a strange language for a moment, and then you recognize the sounds of Indraconic, the words nightmare, as a spell seemingly goes off in the distance as you hear some sort of kind of clashing of almost like electricity kind of sparking off for a moment. As this creature seems to do so, nothing seems to happen as you kind of wait a few moments. It seems eerily almost quiet. And the wings begin, the creature kind of waits a second, looks about, and then begins to flap, and you hear as it seems to, all three of the creatures begin to flap their wings away, disappearing and dissipating from the town, from what you can tell. Give me another listen check.
3.
Oh!
30.
Rollman is
The
just
world is back as
breathing. Yeah, Rollman just sighed out a big gulf of relief of oh my god, they're gone.
I did not do that, by the way.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying. 3
Hold
and
on,
a
let's out
30.
that nervous fart he'd been holding in.
I don't do that either.
We got Rad here once more.
They just, they watch me get my ear up against the wall, and I'm listening.
James, what'd you get?
21, actually. That's why I was like, the world's right in the world again. I rolled high on a wisdom check.
As you listen in, you hear the wings flapping as they seem to quite quickly disappear as the wind the heft of the wings slamming the wind itself almost sounds like a cannonball or an artillery being shot as the creature just fucking takes off, vanishing in almost in the sound from the sound of it.
A creature or all three of them?
The other two you do hear seem to flap quite heavily after. It takes a few moments before they seem to be left out of earshot. The Rollman, you hear the loud artillery quite easily of the creature dissipating, though it sounds like someone just shot off a massive spell or a spell cannon. You're not really sure what that was, but to the rest of you, as you hear the creatures flying away, it takes a few moments, but it sounds like they dissipate after about another minute or two into the distance to the point where you can no longer hear them, Cinder.
I still hold up my finger to everyone, to my mouth, to everyone, and then I don't do anything. I just stay there. Still.
Honestly, is the fire out? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
You did put out the fire.
Yeah, I mentioned you
Once
put out the
the
fire and
noise
have
is
it covered to keep the smoke from billowing out.
Yeah, once the noise is gone, because worst case, I'm gonna have the door-sided crack in snow like peek through, because all they'll see if they look back is like an animal just peeking out of the building.
Okay. Give me a spot check for Snow. Well, is Snow looking for anything, or is Snow actively looking for the creatures you guys just saw? Just to be clear.
They're doing a very quick. Cause I don't want them to look out for very long, so a very quick once over just to see whatever.
So if there's any threats remaining, then yeah, spot check. Someone in the chat can give our great Chestiacus a catch up if you would like. But yeah, as Snow looks out really quickly, looking about up at the skies, looking down at the snow really quickly, glancing about, nothing's there. It seems like as if the you can see the heavy parts where the wings had been flapping, the snow clearly having kicked up and left certain parts of the stone and ground now uncovered, but nothing seems to be in the sky.
Okay. Once Snow comes back in and doesn't seem like worried at all, I'll just nod to the others.
Okay. Yeah. As Snow comes walking back in, kind of gives a nod and comes over to curl up next to you once more. The sounds, kind of the snow in the distance being the only thing you lightly hear still. I will note, you just saw Jakix leave. So...
Yep.
We can't really warn him.
Yeah,
You know, we
that's true.
talk to him.
Yeah, but I also such a kicks
He
running.
also ran really fast.
That's true.
If he doesn't want to be caught, they're not going to catch him.
That's true.
Plus, there's a very thick number of trees very nearby for his speed.
That's true.
Dragons don't fly that fast. Like full size. He's not going to be caught.
That's fair. But yeah, Cinder, as Snow curls up next to you and like rubs up against you, it's clear that there is no signs of anything coming nearby.
Just staring at James with the most deadpan stare.
I go lock the door.
Puts the heavy latch of wood down, locking yourselves from going outside now. As Roman just stares at you and just a bewilderment.
I'm doing it as quietly as possible.
Yeah, as you lightly put it into the thing, thankfully the bars look to be brand new to hold hold the wood down, as it looks to be just a bracer the log rests on. And the log sets down into a light thud, but doesn't make much noise.
No fire. We're still doing.
I will snap and burn a prestidigitation to restart the fire.
No, I said no fire.
Oh, no fire? Okay, never mind.
As James
Won't do that
quickly
then.
kicks it out. James
Yes,
kind of sits
sleep.
down in the darkness, the wind kind of blowing by as it kind of gives a ghostly howl. The sounds of the snow kind of collapsing in on itself out in the snow.
I'll stay awake here. I get some sleep.
Sleep inside now. So much less comfortable.
Can you just make snow and sleep on that?
Not with no spell slots.
All right.
Just tired.
Settle in and get our long rest in.
You okay? As James begins to kind of lay down, Cinder kind of curling up with Snow, Melvin already out cold, snoring away. Rollman, give me a listen check, as you can't really search while you're locked inside.
Fair enough. I will actually occasionally. Is there windows?
There are not. These buildings are pretty heavy. Oh, well, not in this one. The one next door did, but it was a smaller house, so.
Listen. 4.
Oh.
Nice.
I mean, you're a little irritated at James, and it's kind of hard to not get over that at this point. Your mind's kind of still looking back at everything and analyzing the fight, trying to think of where the mistakes were made. There's a lot on your mind, Rollman, that's gone on in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Just I guess.
Yes.
Party.
But yeah, no, as you kind of listen in, kicking back and relaxing, enjoying some of the few bits of meat that were already managed to be cooked. 4 hours go by and nothing, or sorry, 3 hours go by and nothing seems to come on or go on.
I'll wake up James next, I guess.
Okay, I was gonna say I assume you're not gonna do.
Oh, do you know what me from Because I think I have the highest listen.
I'm waking James up for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. As you walk over to James, at this point it's around 10ish at night. It's completely pitch black outside from what you can tell, Rollman. Otherwise,
Okay.
it's quiet as well from what you've been able to notice.
Here, James, take this ring of arming. If you use it action a small amount of time, you can store your armor away and not have to be really loud. I don't have a use for it right now, so you can borrow it.
All right,
To keep
I'll
you quiet.
do that and sit there by the door. I'll hold the ring for now. I'm not really moving from
God.
where I.
And, put your armor away, perhaps?
If I don't move, I can't make noise.
I will say, as he says that and kind of readjusts himself, he makes noise.
Fucking.
Uh-huh. Just, you can get it back in, like, a split second.
I'll
It's
store
not
away my armor and in the ring of arming.
I will say, yeah, kind of. Remember, plate does make noise. Even if you're just sitting there, no one sits perfectly still. Sadly.
Oh, it's just, if danger comes, just, you can put it back on instantly.
Yes. As you kind of put the ring on your finger, immediately your armor kind of sucks into the ring, vanishing off your body, and you're back to your merchant attire.
I also hand him a sphere of awakening. Use this if you need to wake us up.
So he hands you this. What looks like right now just a very calming blue orb that has the spell, what looks to be the spell alarm written onto it.
If you want the specifics of what it does, it just wakes up all allies and makes them immune to exhaustion, fatigue, and...
I believe it's also soundless, technically.
It does not make sound, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big benefit of it, is it wakes you up without making noise.
You become immune to sleep, fatigue, and exhaustion.
Yeah, perfect.
For 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of hand this over to you, James, looking at it.
All right, and
I'll nod and sit by the door.
Okay.
Quietly and keep an ear out for when I need to, and using tremor sense, make sure nothing's approaching, at least that I can deal with that.
Give me a listen check. And in your case, give me a search check for your tremor sense.
19 for listen.
Or sorry, spot check for not search. Because you're looking for anything.
And 23 for spot.
19 and 23. As the next 3 hours go on, it's almost kind of eerie how quiet it is, other than the cold or the heavy winds blowing past the house. Rollman's very, very light snoring. Melvin's very heavy snoring. The lack of snoring coming from your uncle, almost creepily.
He was always supposed to be very quiet. It's fine.
But as the night goes on, nothing seems to come within your area. A few bits time, you do sense some wild dogs that seem to pass by the town and seem to smell up on the door, but seem to continue on their way after a few moments, seeming like they're lacking in interest. Otherwise, next 3 hours, nothing seems to happen.
I will go wake up dear uncle and let him know it's last watch.
At 1 a.m. As you kind of go and wake up Cinder, who's cold to the touch when you get near him. And Snow,
this is normal.
Yeah.
He's dead, actually.
Oh yeah. And Snow, who is completely curled up and like rolled over onto him.
Adorable.
Yeah. I'll just reposition over near the door.
I'll lay down, and once perfectly still, I'll go to sleep.
You're not gonna have the sphere, bro? The fuck?
I will pass in the sphere, actually, yeah. The sphere waking. Something
James
happened
kind
to
of
wake us up.
lays down on his back and then looks back up immediately like a vampire coming out of a coffin and goes, oh, and then grabs the orb and looks over and tosses over to you.
Excellent.
We'll wake us up silently.
I can ponder the orb while I do listen
Under
check.
the orb.
As you see Cinder's eyes light up with a little bit of glee for a second, James, as you lay back down, kind of immediately nodding off. All right, give me a listen check, Cinder.
Well,
You be listening.
go at it.
As the Snow also assist, or are you just gonna let Snow kind of curl up and sleep?
That Snow's just sleeping.
Okay. As the day or as the night goes on, the next 3 hours, as you listen in, you do you feel or you do hear the sound of something rustling about in the snow as you catch the very clear sound of the Smilodon sounding like it's sniffing about the area. It doesn't take a few more moments before it seems to catch the scent of something and take off running in a different direction and vanishing once again off into the distance.
It's not worth hunting one Smilodon in the fucking...
And what you, as you kind of can hear, is a very heavy blizzard. As you'd guess, there's feet of snow that creature is now running through. And if it's not gonna be in the village in the morning, then it's gone. But as you continue to listen in, night goes on, nothing seems to happen. It's almost completely quiet. As around 4 a.m. comes, your watch is technically up. However, the sun has yet to rise. It's still dark out. What would you like to do?
I think after sleep and after that, I'm technically long rested, right? Because that's...
You need six. Is it 6 hours for a druid? I can never remember if druids need 8 hours or
any long rest is like 6 hours is like hours of light activity.
Let me check.
Oh, yes, 3.5 E.
No, I wasn't looking up that. Why would I look that up off the
8 hours.
Yeah, it is 8 hours. So you are not. You'd still need another
During which the character sleeps or performs light activity.
Yes.
Listening
is a skill check. It's not counted as a light activity. Light activities do not count as checks.
Yeah, you're keeping watch, which is not a light activity.
Yeah. So, now, if you were saying you were just sitting around the fire, then yes, I would say that's light activity. But since you're actively listening for enemies, given the interaction you've had tonight, I imagine your mind's a little bit more focused than average. So, for that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Snow's good at listening. Snow will take fourth.
Cinder just kind of nods off and like starts petting Snow to wake them up, and then eventually just goes back to snoring as Snow sits there.
They got 2 hours?
Yep. Give me a listen check for some Snow. I mean, technically, familiars are smart enough to warn their casters so fully. It's you're able to do it. It's just, typically people don't use creatures that have high listen checks.
Yeah, well, I happen to use a creature with a high listen check.
I still remember my favorite druid from an adventuring guild group, which was a guy had a pet turtle, and he used it like a hockey puck.
Oh, that's kind of messed up.
Why?
He fucking gilded the thing out with like an iron plate and spikes on it and everything to hit people with.
22.
22.
Like, did it work?
Yeah, because he used it with a club. It was improvised weapon he built. He was a barbarian improvised weapon build. I'll tell you later about it. But yeah, as Snow kind of listens in, kind of yawning, but kind of pawing at the orb to turn it every few seconds as they seem to lay there. The rest of the morning goes on as you lot hear a very curdling and heavy and loud sounding crowing of a rooster far to the distance that seems to signal the rising sun as each of you begin to kind of crack your eyes open, having gained a long rest. Melvin still out cold, snoring deep in slumber, but as you each find yourselves waking up, Snow is eagerly snoring already in your lap once more.
Yep.
Cinder. But
as any good wild man, I let up my good morning fart as I get up.
Oh, come on, man.
As any good cleric, I unbar the door, go outside, and do my morning prayer after looking around to make sure I'm not going to get fucking jumped.
Before you go outside, I will go outside.
So you also probably want to put your armor back on by reactivating the ring. Just a point.
Good.
But yeah, Roland, as you go to unbar the door, stepping outside, give me a spot check and a listen check.
I will also be invisible for this round. Just extra precaution.
I assume you're stepping fully out while you're invisible then? Okay.
You said search and spot?
Yeah.
Or what?
No, search and listen.
Okay. So search.
There don't seem to be any active threats as you look about in the immediate area. It looks to be just a.
Listen.
As kind of listen, you hear the birds chirping in the distance. Now the snow is kind of getting lighter. The old snowbirds, as they're called, large, fat crane-like creatures. They're like a mix of a turkey and a crane almost. That seem to fly quite distant, a decent distance. You hear them kind of chortling off in the distance, almost like not chortling, cawing like almost like roosters and chickens in the distance, making a loud noise. But as the wind kind of blows by, still keeping that ghastly wail as it does, the lighter the snow, though it's stacked up almost 12 feet, looks like there's no immediate threats. You see a couple of what looks to be paw prints in the snow, but they're pretty old and clearly kind of worn out. So as you look about, everything else looks like it's not been bothered with. Everything looks clear.
Okay. I give the all clear as I suddenly reappear.
As you see Roland just reappear almost as if out of nowhere, looking at you lot, standing in the middle of the open, the back area of the village.
All clear.
I will step out and I'm gonna do my morning routine for my prayers so I get my spells back and relax.
James kind of finds a barrel to sit down on that's fully frozen whatever liquid was inside of it, and starts kind of going through his prayer book as he begins to read off some prayers.
Oh, yeah, I'm changing all of my spells as well right now after one round.
Cinder kind of comes out, finds a small the bush that Rad had planted, I believe, before combat last time. I think it was Rad that was the one that grabbed the bush. I think if I remember the check, and kind of Cinder begins to kind of whisper into it as he begins changing up his spells.
I actually whisper to a lump of ice I find because I am an ice druid.
Oh, that's right. I forget you're an ice druid. I imagine actually, don't you carry blue ice around your neck, don't you? As a necklace thing.
Yeah, I have a necklace with a heart of ice.
Yeah, as you kind of pull
you
that
don't
out.
need to pray to anything.
Start kind of quietly doing your nature like prayers and morning routine.
So like, does he worship ice or something? I'm asking James. Is that how he gets his spells?
Roland kind of like lightly elbows you, James. Your eyes are kind of closed as you're like reading the prayers in your head.
He's a druid. He does things differently.
I thought druids were like with trees.
They're with nature, Rolaman.
Okay. Interesting.
If this isn't the art piece of just like Rolaman kind of lightly elbowing James, who's trying to do cleric work, and the druid over there looking like he's trying to talk to an icy heart.
Like,
Melvin asleep in the
not
cabin.
Ice. Ice isn't living.
Ice is a part of nature.
Okay.
James
So
now
like
slightly opens
everything
his eyes,
on the
looking at
earth.
you.
You just look at
Can
anything.
I roll listen?
Yeah.
I'm not being quiet. Well, I'm kind of like
I'm
like
slowly
whisper speaking.
James is looking at his hammer, then looking at Rolaman.
Yeah, you can totally hear the Cinder.
And you could just ask.
Like he could look at a rock and do the same thing, right? That's part of nature.
Rolaman
I
points over
don't know the
towards a rock.
specifics of him. Now shut up so I can do this and get my spells back since you were so worried about them yesterday.
I'm just switching my spells. I'm like, you could just ask me. You could just.
Okay. I go over to Cinder.
Yeah, this light sound. I imagine James sighing a sigh of relief as you walk away.
So what is this whole druid things like? Some druids like trees, some druids like ice. Can you just like pick any object that's in nature and be like, I like that thing? Be a druid?
Not exactly. There's different druid circles you see, and each one have different beliefs and power sets. I'm what's called a winter warden.
Okay.
So cold-based plants, snow, winter storms, blizzards. That's kind of my
I see.
my area.
That's why you like cold themed spells, I assume. Can you learn like a fire spell, or can you like not do that?
I can. I'm just better with cold.
Fair enough.
That's why I can do this. I start just like again and again shooting rays of frost into the distance.
It is a useful ability.
Little glimmers of snow coming off of it.
Yeah, it's not very powerful. I can do it forever though, so I just kind of always have it.
Interesting. And then I go do my own routine.
You begin going and start training and doing your stretches, warming up.
Also, Rollman asked, he's seen me cast a fire spell before.
Yes.
What spell?
I casted Flaming Sphere during the dragon fight.
That's true, you did.
I also cast it again during the fucking Smilodon fight.
Yeah, you kept trying to pester
Hey,
the
look, man,
creatures.
I was
with it.
focused on butchering Smilodons in the Smilodon fight.
Well, it wasn't during the army of them. I used it during the big guy.
Big tooth.
Yeah.
But as James goes over to kind of start stretching, warming up, and kind of getting himself all limbered up for the day, the three of you kind of begin your go about your day as Melvin continues to sleep inside. An hour, but I'd say roughly an hour goes by as the morning kind of continues. The sun kind of raising up a little bit higher now as you can clearly see a bit more into the snow. The 12 feet of snow just thick as all hell, not melting whatsoever as the day warms to a little bit more higher of a nice 14 degrees above zero. A little bit nicer than what it was last night at the peak of the night being negative 60.
Yeah, maybe a difference.
Yeah.
What's the plan? We can't really if you want to follow Jakix's advice, not go back to Velcomen. But also we don't want to stay out here with 3 wyverns.
We have over a literal ton of bait if we want to go hunting.
We could spend some time just hunting monsters, animals, whatever will come for that, and head back to Velcomen in a few days.
Okay. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Give me a moment. I'm just writing something up for real quick. As you take a second. So 2 seconds.
How much we want to take for bait at this moment?
Depends. You want to use the normal bait or the strong bait?
We could set up 2 different spots and see what we get from each.
Actually, I didn't show you the strong bait. Here, Roman, smell this.
No, I literally saw you showed that to James yesterday. I'm not an
You
idiot.
gotta understand what your bait's good for to use it.
Yes, I'm aware of smell glands and creatures that smell. This is not my first run-in with these.
Probably is with these ones.
Yeah, with these in particular, I'm not interested in smelling them. I'm sure I will anyway once we use them as bait.
Realize spiders had weak noses. I'm gonna write that down in my book. It's something I'll keep in mind.
James, you do find something stuffed pretty hastily, it seems, in your pocket as you finish up your prayers. Kind of as you step off the barrel, something crinkling as you feel the papyrus kind of in your one of your belt pockets. And as you kind of pull it off, you see the letter from Jakix with the target that you are to identify. Or rather,
I take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Memorize the contents, and then I look for a way to dispose of this thing because I don't want anything with Jakix writing on me because I feel like it's going to get me in trouble.
Fair.
How about you just write it again in your own handwriting instead of trying to memorize it?
I'll write it down in a little bit, but first I got to get rid of this thing.
Yeah, I'd make the copy and then throw it out.
Just you could just write down the names and where they're at. You don't have to.
I will write down their names and where they're at separately.
As James heads back in towards where the fire pit is and just drops off the papyrus into the fire, letting it burn.
I write down, since it's fresh in my mind, Crump Senior.
No, Melvin was out cold. He's been out cold sleeping because he was out of spells and almost died, and did nearly die last session.
He's sleeping.
Conald Crump Senior, and it looking in Hermhurst's Last Hold or Dragon's Crown.
Does James get flashbacks? Because you've met Crumb Senior before.
Yes, I do. I don't like the man.
He almost blew him up.
Should have.
You don't have a ship right now.
No, we don't.
Well,
Hrimhurster's
yeah, but
last hold is within walking distance, though, but also shouldn't go there.
Yeah. We also can't enter Hrimhurster's last hold because Hrimhurster's last hold is Frost Giant only.
Yeah, the only one of us that could is probably Uldren.
I will say, as you look in, Rad is still in there, and he has shapeshifted at least into a spine devil. So
I recognize that spell. That's different.
okay, that's fair. I just wanted to make that like as a
But yeah,
point.
it's not shapeshifting. You just get like some of the parts.
Oh, that's fair.
You're still identifiable.
Got you. Never mind then.
Also, we really don't want him to go in there, get caught, get killed.
Murdered.
Good point. No, fair enough. I just figured I'd point out that little note. I didn't know if his spell was a full polymorph or not, so
No.
just in case.
No, don't worry. He didn't give us a time limit.
I will say,
So-
if we were in good standing with Uthman, we might be able to get in, but like, after what he said, I don't think we are right now.
I mean,
Well, we don't
he-
know what we are right now.
he didn't give us a time limit.
It's true.
We technically, as long as we tend to do it eventually, have until the end of our lives.
That's yeah. The technicalities are nice and all, but some people don't like it when you just like say technically I can do this, and then they're like,
It doesn't
"Bro,
matter.
what the hell?"
It's the deal he made. He knows how
He
it works.
operates on technicalities all the time.
He also mentioned how he's pissed and is not working with other people because they didn't scratch his back. If we don't help this man, he's not going to be very nice to us.
Okay, how do you want us to do anything?
So,
You
want us to
can't even
walk-
walk around Dragon's Crown
you
without
like-
getting possibly killed.
Would you like us to walk to Dragon's Crown, or would you like us to walk into the Frost Giant only city?
Cinder, like, hand out towards the mountain and hand out towards the ocean.
The easy fact that we don't have a ship right now, it's like, all right, which would you like?
What I only mention this is we should just sit on our ass after we are capable of going and doing it.
Which
When
will
we're
be
capable
for
of it,
roughly a
yeah.
year.
Absolutely. I'm not telling you to wait years, but for about 9 months or so, there's not much we can do.
It's true. We might be able to maybe sweeten our relationship with Utham in that time, and maybe try and get him last
Well,
one
we
before
did
the ship
stop we did technically stop the spell. We didn't know who was casting it either.
finished.
That
Feels
is the
like
honest truth.
The tail is getting twisted while we're not there, James.
Who wanted to go hunt the Sabertooth? I said I wanted to deal with walruses.
I'm not. Why pointing blame? I'm just
Why
saying.
would that have made a difference?
Might have been faster to deal with the walruses.
Weren't the
And
walruses further
utterly
away?
pointless as well.
Roll
I'm
with
Pretty sure
it.
the walruses were further away.
The fight with Osiris was much more exciting, although a little bit disappointing towards the end, compared to probably a bunch of fucking walruses.
In the distance, there's a walrus sighing at the insults that he's hearing.
I'm being brutally
They will
honest.
get you one day, Rollman. They will
Yeah.
get you.
Well, and then you
I await the day a powerful walrus attacks me, because then I'll be happy.
The walrus apex monster is now on the rise
Right,
to fight
no.
Rollman.
I'm just gonna go start setting up the bait.
I will say the spell circles for the around the town. I mean, from what you can tell, seem to still be undisturbed.
That's also true. We can go. Oh look, I have the highest spellcraft. I'll go check some of the spell circles. Why not?
See if anybody attacked, we can activate them. Maybe fight some more creatures, get some more
No.
crystals.
I'll try to figure out what they do first. Yeah,
I can set some bait while you do that if you want.
sure. Yeah, I suggest using the old one's bait, if only because I mean, it's meat we're definitely not going to take.
Yeah, I also don't really want to attract something super strong like those wyverns, potentially. They might go after the smelly thingies. More than
I don't
just-
think undead wyverns can smell.
The thing
Well,
literally
that-
said I could smell you. Did you hear
It
did you see
did.
Draconic?
Say
Is
it
that
could
not an
smell us.
common thing?
It might just been like
I've used that as a threat before. It doesn't mean I can literally smell people from a range.
I'm not saying that they can't smell or that they can't smell. I'm just saying what they
We
said.
don't know their capability.
Undead also don't eat.
It seemed like they wanted to turn us into things. You never know.
Instead, it wanted to
I'll just-
puppet us.
I'll just use the
That means my backup plan wouldn't have done shit, though. Makes me feel a little bad.
Either way, do you want a spellcraft roll as I look at these other ones?
Yeah, as you
I'll-
start walking.
You know what?
Good.
I'll help you with that while Rollman sets up the bait.
Okay, so James kind of follows Cinder around the town to go take a look. Okay.
Could be better. I rolled a 10, but I have a plus 15, so 25.
Okay.
Plus another half of 15.
7.
32.
Thanks, man.
What was that roll?
32.
What was that rolling? Sorry.
I'll go set up some meat bait.
Okay. Give me a survival roll.
Okay.
Is that a cat or a rabbit? Oh, it's a rabbit. Okay.
Oink.
I got
It's
excited.
a crabbit.
Oh, I got
It's a
excited for a
cat rabbit.
sec. I thought I was gonna. I got finally picked by the cat gods,
20.
but not today. 20. You okay? As you manage to chop up the meat, getting it up into smaller minced parts, and begin kind of working it about with a bit of other ingredients lying about the farmhouse or the house. You manage to get a decent smell to it. That's little, just enough to catch the scent of most predators, you guess most beasts and such. As you kind of smile down at it, kind of looking about, heading out into the village with it, you start looking about the areas with your little bowl of meat and spices to find places to kind of set it up. That would be key locations for you. All right. James and Cinder, as you head into the town and kind of circle around, you find that this spell is, I think it was Summon Nature's Ally 6? Yes, 6.
Yeah, that's what the first one was, yeah.
Each of these spell circles seem to be the same, and they seem to be sparsed out across the town at the back of every single house and building till you get to the far eastern end where the larger house with all the blood, or what was originally blood, now covered and much of it dissipated into the snow. Little bits of brown here and there, but not enough to be really noticeable as you look about. There do seem to be 4 spell circles at each corner of this larger manor-like house that have Summon Nature's Ally 7, which I think is the one that lets you go one step up for greater elementals. As each of these are seemingly set, none of them again triggered, but yet it looks like the house, the manor itself looks to have been ransacked. The front door slightly cracked, clearly showing signs that there was a fight or battle somewhere inside. But as you and James kind of walk about, you see Rollman kind of going about dropping off bits of bait as he does.
Do I get a feel of, 1, what kind of elemental the bigger ones will summon, and 2, how they would trigger? Because clearly they're a trap of some kind.
With that spellcraft, you do. You recognize they are all Earth. Every single one is Earth. And secondly, that they are triggered by threat. It seems to be a magical threat or some sort of magical cataclysm has to hit them. From what you can tell, cantrip probably would be enough, and it seems to be almost triggered by a person to activate. So this is almost like a self-defense turret.
I could just ray of frost it, and it would just...
In theory, you think it would it should recognize the magic or just attack.
Okay. I think earth elementals we do decent against. They have a really high... They're gonna hit. They have a plus 23 to hit. Oh, God.
I like getting hit. They ain't very smart.
They have 199 health. I mean, we could probably take them if we do one at a time. Yeah. Damage reduction 10. Mm-hmm. Alright. I mean, I'll go share that with Rolliman, because he's the only one not here looking at it.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase what I stated. Sorry. 6 summons large. The 7 summons huge. To make clear.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was understood. I just want to make sure for the notes there for clarification. But yeah, as you and James kind of look at these going about the town, the other thing you do notice is that there is an undercurrent of magical energy seemingly flowing through this town.
Like, in way of someone set it up like that, or is it like a natural magic hotspot?
It almost seems as if this is like a spot, like a ley line of magic to flow through naturally.
I just look at James, and I'm gonna ask him if he knows the rules of claiming unclaimed land in a nation.
Can I roll mercantile for this?
Yeah, I'll take mercantile or lawyer.
I don't have lawyer.
I figured, but you never know. I didn't know if you decided to pick
I
up
have lawyer.
and your level
My
up.
son will appear.
I hold 1 rank in lawyer.
You know what? I'm gonna go get skill focused lawyer.
Yeah, next level up, I got you.
No, I'm gonna train the feet.
I mean, you gotta find a law book. That's like passing the bar.
11.
11. You take a second, James. I mean, most of what your experience has been was walking in, offering an exorbitant amount of money to do one dealing, and then allowing that to kind of get you in the door to buy a little plot of land that is only being allowed as from what you are able to pick up because you are breaking up the monopoly in the town of another major merchant family, as you've picked up. So beyond that, you're unsure.
If I take time to think about it, could I take a 10 and get a 15 to possibly get a better answer?
Yeah, if you want to ponder that for a bit, it'll take a little while, but you could really kind of dig in and think about it while Cinder kind
Give
of
me a minute on
investigates.
this, Uncle.
You see, James pulls out a book of like mercantile, it says mercantile notes, and like flips over to the Frost Giant sections and starts like flipping
If
through
I can
all the
take
customs.
long enough to take 20, I will.
Yeah, that's
for
fine.
25.
Yeah, you can.
Isn't that like an hour?
It'll take you a full half hour or a full hour to get the 25. But yeah, you can. If Cinder wants to.
I will.
I'll be back in an hour to tell you why I asked. I'll just walk off.
Cinder just turns and like.
Give me an hour.
I imagine Cinder just kind of looks at you awkwardly as you're kind of like looking in the book for a few minutes, not saying anything, and just kind of like turns and goes off to continue what he was doing.
It's on his reading glasses.
Yeah. Roland
No, don't you know
passes.
my helmet has a visor for that?
Roland kind of passes
Super
by.
high-tech.
I imagine, kind of like checking on you, making sure you're still like you're not dead or like paralyzed for a moment, then continues on with his way.
You could like read the book like inside the house, right? Instead of like outside.
James will slowly start doing a very slow shuffle towards the house.
I just pick
to
him up
not
and
bump
fucking
into
carry him.
things.
As you're dropping off sections of bait, continuing on your route as you carry James with you, like a young child. Can you
I've been put on his back.
Can you
piggyback
lift?
riding?
Can you lift a fucking
I mean,
James
that's a good question. How much do you weigh, James?
with armor? That's
With your
gear.
staff. You could take your armor off.
I don't count coin weight if that helps. Well, unless it's a ridiculous amount of coin. At that point, I have to. But you know.
I have the bag of coining, so.
Oh, that's true. You're
coin
good.
weight.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm in full plate for a medium creature, so that's another 50 pounds. Then my hammer is like another 15.
How much you weigh as a person? Because that's gonna be the main contributor here.
He's no more than 200 pounds.
56. I don't weigh any more than 200.
Okay,
I weigh 168.
I could carry 460 pounds.
So far, if I am guesstimating, sounds like he has another. So
Probably
far,
has
for
100 pounds of
75
gear.
of gear or 100 pounds. Yeah, roughly. That's what we're at. So
I have 12, 15, 65, 75 pounds of gear on me.
Yeah, I can carry him.
Wait, no, sorry, that's 80 pounds. Forgot the bag of holding.
I can still
Yeah.
carry it.
as you pick James up and kind of start walking along, Cinder kind of going, having vanished off on his own. Cinder, where are you heading off as you leave James behind?
I was going to explain to Roman. So you said one per house, and the big house had 4, right, for the spell circles?
Yes.
1, 2. I'm counting houses.
The far on the map, it'd be the farther northern one for the east.
Yeah. So if we're counting the ones that are connected as 1, there'd be 7, and the manor would have 4.
Talking to Cinder, you said that there's 4 big ones around the house to stop, and they're meant to like stop attacks and stuff.
And they respond to threats.
Are they like active? Like they're still like they weren't used?
Looks like it.
It didn't really help them if there was a giant attack.
Well, they're triggered when magic hits them. If a group of anti-magic people came in and killed them before they could react.
I guess that's fair.
And looking about the town, I will mention, as for all three of you, that you've seen, many of the houses look to have been kind of almost broken into or kicked in. Your house seems to be the only one that didn't have the door cracked or destroyed at all. The rest of them seemingly, the few that had windows seem to have them either shattered or having been completely taken out. And it looks like very clear signs of struggles going on in these houses. Many of the clay pots and such are kind of shattered on the ground. Much of any sort of furniture looks to be cracked. Much of the wood almost torn apart. Fireplaces thrown about and torn over. It looks like whoever went through these places did some damage without any quick from a quick investigation.
If we don't count the one that we already triggered with the first elemental, there's 6 more of the lower summonings and 4 of the larger summonings around the big house.
I mean, if they all drop those gemstones that, like the first one did, would be.
They should. They all summon earth elementals.
Yeah, I mean, after James gets his answer, I'll put him down at the house now.
Have an hour.
After that, we could probably activate 1 or 2. Not at the same time, but like consecutively.
All right. Well, since we have an hour, I'm gonna go set some snare traps at where you put the bait up.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
I taught where each of them are.
I have craft trap.
Oh yeah, give me a craft trap.
While it's lower, it is more correct.
Mm-hmm. Also, Red, are you actually here, or are you just listening in? To clarify.
I'm here.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
Do it?
Yeah, so Rad, to catch you up a little bit, as the day has gone over, much of your night was spent kind of sleeping, not having heard anything, and thankfully not being asked to be put on watch, as you had a nice night, pretty much of peace. As you have awoken this morning, many of your compatriots have kind of you managed to have headed out into the town. Some of them going with bait, the others going, as it sounds like, to investigate the earth elementals that they had seen as they take off into the village, leaving you and Melvin with the majority of the meat and processed goods from the Sabertooths.
Ooh.
Yes, you are left alone with the teeth.
Your
the big
portion
teeth.
of teeth set aside.
Oh, the gemstone teeth.
What do you mean set aside? I already have them.
I said the gemstone teeth are in there. The others.
One of them isn't. The emerald one is not.
Yeah, he put that on his
It is.
Gotcha.
The other
Okay.
he's too much weight.
Word.
So the amethyst one is there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal any teeth. I will, however, like just thinking from Rad's point of view, they left. They didn't ask for help with anything, and if they need his help, they'll come and get him. So he is going to take some time writing, and I will message you what he's writing.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. As you Rollman and Cinder, as you kind of continue making your circle around, Cinder kind of going the other way, putting out traps. Rollman going continuing as he sets out bait. What'd you get, Cinder, by the way, for your bait or for your craft check?
23.
23. As you're kind of going through setting up a few snares, you do notice as a couple of small rabbits and such have already kind of come by and seem to have nibbled at the bits of the meat that have been set out as you start to set out the snares. Even seemingly as you start walking up towards one, seeing an Almirage kind of catch sight of you and scuttle off into the snow and disappear. But as you go about continuing setting up your little traps, I would say that's the only creature I know that Cinder's not going to try and make friends with is an Almirage. But as
I totally would if I was given the chance.
I'll keep that in mind. But as you two continue about circling around the village back to the house, finishing up as you do, Roman, as you set James down in front of the house once more, James, it finally comes to you as you begin to realize all you have to do is get approval from the Regan, and then basically pay him whatever he thinks the land's worth. In the case of buying a village, it would be in the situation that you'd have to swear an oath of fealty to him, and basically offer to serve him in whatever way he deems fit. That could mean just managing the territory and paying him tax. It could mean you are given a court position and have to serve him in exchange for the territory.
I will relay this to my dear uncle.
Cinder will keep this in mind as he looks over at the village while he works.
Thinking of taking it?
Maybe.
Just in there.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a bit
I learned why
but
the the amount of magic under this village is immense.
I noticed that earlier when we were walking around too. It'd be good land for just us, just the company in general, but view with the fealty.
Look, not everyone likes the cold like you guys do, okay?
Roland says kind of like, yeah,
I tolerate it, but some people might not.
I imagine
No,
closing up his cold
if
clothing a little bit more with that.
No, but if my little errand for the Snowbeard Kingdom comes to pass, we'll have a lot of displaced Snowbeards.
Okay, that's fair. It's not really a safe place, though. We just had 3 wyverns come over top of us. And this is already an abandoned village.
That was raided by multiple places, from the looks of it.
Yeah, you could do like a research place, though. Like what Tinder wants for it. I
That
assume
might be possible. We might be able to purchase the land just on a research
is
basis.
this, like, magic land, like good for druids or something.
As you look out, there are very few actual trees or shrubberies in the ground. It almost looks kind of dead in this area, surprisingly.
No, I look at all the snow, and I just say yes.
Okay. You'd be an expert, not me.
It's not wrong, technically.
I think it's good for a specific kind.
Yeah. Anyway,
But-
you guys wanted to kill an earth elemental and take its chip?
You want to start with the smaller ones or the bigger ones?
Probably smaller ones. I haven't really fought an earth elemental before.
I'll once it's set up, I'll go to the next nearest one that hasn't been activated yet.
Cinder,
Yeah.
I will. With your role earlier, I do feel it's important to note that if you do realize that if you are clumsy with your magic, more concerned towards looking at James in this situation, I imagine, or Melvin in this situation, who's still snoring inside the building, that you could accidentally kill off all of the spells at a single point if you are not careful. So something to keep in mind as you get close to these.
Careful how, like, if I use too much power, it'll trigger all of them. Or you talking about like what James did earlier, where he shot a spell and hit it by accident?
More like flub it and accident, and maybe potentially in the sense of out of character, fail the roll. You're pretty clear that this will probably activate the entirety of the thing.
I think I have high enough roll. Also, worst case that happens, we run Earth Elementals aren't very fast.
It's true.
They're very
packed up then, just in case.
Earth Elementals is like I think a 20-foot movement speed, and they can't run.
As Rollman mentions this once more about the packing up.
Yep. I mean, if we want to make sure everything's ready to move before.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Hey, Brad. We're gonna kill an earth elemental. You want to watch?
We're gonna kill multiple Earth Elementals probably.
Yeah, just kill this first one. For this first one, I request no one use spells. To see how I do. Better save your resources, you know.
So you want to fight it solo?
I mean, you guys will be there in case I start dying.
Just
take a second, think about that.
I look at my druid outfit, the fact that I'm a caster, the fact that my hits like +5, like at best.
I mean, you can still like assist if you want to like buff me, but don't do something that's gonna like major damage for us if we were to fight those wyverns, for example.
I'm just gonna machine gun Raise of Frost.
I mean, yeah, you can do that.
We'll see what
I
happens.
guess I'll be up there on the front lines testing my armor today.
All right.
I'm satisfied with that. All right, and let me turn on my light so I can see again. You lot head over towards the first spell circle. Heading over, you see the spell circle kind of seems to look to be completely unaffected, unbothered. Sure, that's fine, Rad. That works.
Does Rad join us?
Rad is working on something. He seems to be like working away inside the house at something he's very interested into. Not leaving all of the crafting materials still off to the side as you take a quick glance in.
If we start screaming, we're leaving.
If you start screaming,
Yeah.
You'll know if we're evacuating.
oh, without me?
In that instance,
no.
the screaming is to warn you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
oh,
is what the screaming is for.
means
The
you're
screaming,
running away and leaving
No.
me here.
the screaming is we're gonna run towards you to grab our stuff and then run.
Ah, well, okay, thank you.
As
I don't know
Rad
what his finger
nods.
talk says. I hope you understand though.
Alright, well, I was gonna say, are you mentioning this to Melvin too, who's still snoring in the corner?
Oh yeah, Rad might come up if we're.
I'm assuming worst case. Can I just position him on one of the sleds so when we leave, he's just
I
Sure.
sign language for the orb of waking.
I don't speak the finger talk.
He wants
As-
the orb.
You speak
as
the
they
talk?
just watch me pick up fucking Melvin and put him on a sled.
So yeah, Melvin's still out cold, snoring as you kind of lay him back down, completely just kind of like turns over onto his side and goes back to kind of dreaming as he was.
Alright.
As you
That works, right?
as James hands the orb of, well, no, actually, sorry, roll
my
him.
hands.
Yeah, I forgot you got given it back. Never mind.
Does Rad write down what he means? Because I don't speak the finger talk.
Well, James just said to you he wants the orb.
Does James speak finger talk?
Apparently,
He does.
James speaks finger talk.
I was just clarifying that. Then yes, I'll hand him the orb. Yeah, wake him up if we're running away. Don't wake him up right now though, because he seems fine.
I nod.
I'm gonna make him an arcane pencil or something that he can write in the air with. It'll be fun.
I'm just gonna learn sign language, but you do you.
Probably do that too. Just kind of don't have the time right now.
As I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna go get ready to figure the circle once everyone's ready.
I guess I'll take a position and be ready. I forgot I was supposed to be adding 5 to my damage last time with the Smilodons because my hammer deals my wisdom as well.
Well, remember it now.
As
You're gonna
you
need it for
say
damage
that, eerily looking out and about at the field, as you all three walk over towards the spell circle, kind of sitting there, as it just doesn't seem to be it seems to be unbothered.
All right.
Nod to Cinder.
So I rub my hands together and use Ray of Frost.
Okay, let's see what you got.
What's he doing? Roll an attack or what?
Yeah, I assume Ray of Frost is a touch attack,
I believe so.
or it's ranged attack. Sorry,
Range touch.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. In other words, since it's an object, if I don't roll a 1, I think we're okay.
Yeah, ground doesn't tend to move.
It's not a 1, so it's 13 before modifiers.
Okay.
18 after?
As you do, the spell circle seems to begin to glow, and you watch as an earth elemental kind of begins to pull out of it in the shape of what looks to be a mix of a frost giant and almost a hag-like creature. As its long nose kind of extends, the dirt begins to kind of change to a greenish color, and it begins to almost have a long greenish hair. The creature immediately begins to swing towards you lot. Go ahead and let's get some initiative rolls.
17. James is on a roll today. Ready to bonk.
Rolling.
They see me rolling.
They don't. They see you, like, stumbling. I've seen you try to walk on snow.
Oof, 14.
Ouch.
I'm still going faster than Rollerman today.
That hurts. Top. Let's.
Why is there 2 of them?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
Oh, you should have worried earlier when you were dealing with Cinders 19, the Wyverns. 14 for Rollman, James 17, and Melvin and Red are nowhere in here currently.
They're just chilling.
So let me Rollman, you are as always the caboose.
Caboose. I rolled bad.
You did. It's okay. It's actually not the case. I just rolled well. All right. As the spell begins, circle glows, and the creature kind of pulls out of the dirt, shaping itself as it does into this large, giant-like being. It looks over at you, and Cinder, you are up first.
So I get the feel this is just a funky-looking earth elemental.
Well, you can give me. I'll give you a free action of a knowledge nature real quick.
As the druid.
Nature for druid.
I mean, I could argue knowledge planes if Rollman really wants to fight it again.
So arch element, they're from the elemental plane.
Well, there's no such thing as an arch elemental.
Not yet there isn't, but that's an idea for later. 18. You are pretty sure that this creature just seems to take on the appearance of the one who put the spell down. You're guesstimating that probably the villagers look like this beforehand, and so the earth elemental just shapes like it.
All right. Well, I was asked to not use any actual spell levels, so I'm gonna shoot 2 rays of frost at the creature.
All right.
I don't think it earth elementals. You see, I fucking hope it doesn't.
Good touch, I see, bro. I doubt it has good touch, I see.
13 for the
13.
First.
Oh, you know what? That just barely hits. Totally.
What is the touch of this poor fucking? I know they don't have high decks.
That's a good question.
That's a 20. That's a 23.
23 to hit.
Yep.
That also hits.
From a frost.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, wait a minute. Why you got boosting that?
What? Do that much damage?
Don't worry. Did I roll 2 once? I did.
Ouch. All right.
Hey, it's good damage.
Yeah. That's all that is.
You can move out of the way.
I mean...
Oh, wait,
I'm already 40 feet, like, behind you.
Yep, having set far as if you want us to be 40 feet back, that's fine. That works for me. As you can.
Well, I would assume I would have been max range for my Ray of Frost to not be on top of the creature when it summons.
Yeah,
Fair.
that works.
Probably a good idea.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do? That's your 2 Ray of Frost. All right, James.
Well, time to go bonk. Would be right up where it would be near.
Yeah,
would be
as you stand right next to Rollman in the spell circle on the right of Rollman, Ray, with your hammer. Let's see what you got.
This is still plus this for the first swing. 19 to hit.
That just barely hits. It's flat-footed. Mm-hmm. Let's see what you got.
This gets plus this because I need to make sure I add my wisdom in. So 12 damage.
Nice.
Lots of damage.
Finally. All right. As you hit the creature smack dab in the face, it kind of turns over towards you, the hammer slamming, a couple of what looks to be stony teeth slamming into the ground and dissipating from their formation. The creature kind of looks back at you, seemingly almost with its eyes shaped in surprise, as if the creature is reacting.
I have a second swing for my attack action. For my attack, that's gonna probably miss.
You go to swing again, looking up, the eyes, the sudden emotion in the eyes, kind of throwing you for a second, James. As your swing goes wide, and the creature seems to almost lean back as the hammer goes flying by.
Oh, I'm not moving.
Mm-hmm. You aren't moving. You got a second action.
Would you get your 2 attacks from? Was that a full attack?
That's my full attack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it. That's it. Yeah, that's the both actions. Yep.
You could take a 5+7 if you wanted.
I'm good. Actually, I'll try to move myself to where I'll be helping roll him in flank.
You are technically already on his right.
All right.
Yeah. So as you kind of stand there waiting for the beast to swing back, kind of bracing yourself, James. We bump to its turn, and as you are the one who hit it, it is immediately going to turn and roll a skill check real quick.
Yo, hit me first.
It's got to do something
more scary.
real quick.
As far as it's aware, you're just standing there. You're just watching.
Cinder, what's your caster level?
6.
James, is yours lower than 6?
Depends on what for.
Alright, spellcasting, not craft.
Well, you're higher when it's only for crafting.
Yeah, that's why I asked for your caster level.
Well, no, I'm technically spellcaster level 7 for getting over spell resistance as well, and for
Yeah, but
everything else.
that's
What
just
is
your
your
that's a
actual
specific. It's caster
3.
level 3. Okay. The earth elemental seems to dive into the ground and disappear beneath it as it seems to almost meld with it.
Okay, get an attack of opportunity. In the space.
Let me see. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, you do. Yes, go ahead and give me both of you give me an attack of opportunity. It is running away as it's going down. Yes, there's one.
Guys, I have an odd feeling it doesn't like casters.
Potentially. Well, I'm not a caster. Come hit me.
Oh, that is not James. Is you kind of surprised that the creature is running away from you more than anything for the once.
Nothing ever runs from me. What the fuck's going on?
Your hammer kind of comes late as you kind of look at it disappear in the ground and kind of like didn't realize swinging your hammer hitting the dirt. Roll them,
17 to hit.
as you swing down, you miss the creature by a hair as it disappears underground.
Okay, so 28 to hit.
28 hits. Holy shit.
I am also in a punishing stance, which lowers my AC, but I do more damage.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
Yes.
I don't like this.
You're probably not gonna like it. It's 12 damage.
Nice.
That was bad.
You're not wrong. That's okay though. Yeah, you know you're all getting 12 points of damage as you slam into the creature. The comma catching the creature at the back of its leg as it tears into the stone. A strange bluish rock seemingly dribbling out of the back of the creature's calf as the stone spreads apart from the comma and dropping onto the ground as it disappears into the ground. Huh?
Where'd it go?
As you
This
look
one,
about, as you say that, I'm just double checking. Let me wait one sec. Oh, okay, no, that does still get an opportunity attack. It doesn't do that. Oh, fuck, damn it! I thought it didn't. Yeah, as the creature will pop up right in front of Cinder. It kind of like pops out of the ground as it pushes the dirt aside, standing at its full 9 feet tall. The creature looks down at you and gets ready to swing. It only gets its 2 slams. Yes, okay. 20 plus 12. 19 and 21 to hit, Cinder.
Both miss.
As the creature seems to like wave its fist down at you slowly and very almost cumbersome, like kind of going wide as you easily duck out of the way, having managed to duck far hungrier and dangerous creatures than this in your lifetime. As you dodge and duck out of the way, the creature kind of stares down at you, and tilts its head as it does so. Still, the wound at its calf, seemingly pouring out these strange little blue rocks. Alright. That ends its turn. Roloman, you are up as it has, as you kind of turn around, it is 35 feet from you.
That's my movement speed.
Oh shit. Hey, that's actually perfect.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I will go ahead and actually use Boots of the Battle Charger.
Ooh.
As an action, I can move up to my speed and make a charge attack.
Okay.
And since I have lunging, I make a full attack.
Oh no.
So that's 4 attacks. And I'm flanking with
Cinder.
Cinder, right?
Yeah, because the creature has its back to you at this point, looking at Cinder.
Okay. The first 2 are going to be the Bastard Sword.
Okay.
15, wow.
That does not hit.
I'll take 10 on the second one. Or 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
Cool. So that's, and I'll do the 2 combos real quick.
They're just
Well,
gonna...
that's a nat 1. Hold on.
Ouch.
This is not going good.
Is that nat 1 for damage or to hit?
That's to hit. So
okay.
that's to confirm there.
Yeah, okay, we're good. No death, no head chopped off, no finger missing.
Yes. This is the second combo. 20 to hit.
20 does hit.
Cool. All right, so 1 combo and 1 Bastard Sword hit.
As you go in, whirling with blades, striking at this creature's backside.
Yeah.
cutting your initials into the back of the creature, I imagine.
22 damage with the bastard sword.
22. Okay.
And then... Okay. 16 with the comma.
All right.
Yeah, cutting the initials. Who's the boots?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that was my action.
Okay.
Since I technically didn't move, since I used the action to do that, I'm gonna attack him again.
Wait, you can use an action to move. What?
That was the charge. Like, I
Oh,
used
charge.
Boots of the Battle Charger
Oh,
to
yeah.
charge.
I forgot about your boots.
Which
Yeah,
moves me.
yeah, I forgot. Yep, you're good. Okay.
That's
Oh,
not
damn.
sword.
I'm gonna burn those boots later.
17. That's not good.
17 does not hit.
Did I roll?
Okay,
I
you were-
rolled like a 5.
No, man, listen. Beyond 20 is on my side tonight, I'm telling you.
Uh-huh. That is my turn, and I'll try and insult this thing. Turn my back. You're back to me. Better hope or attack me, because I'm hurting you a lot.
Give me an intimidation, man. That was bad. Go ahead.
Yes, Cinder just shakes
I
his head.
haven't really rocked to talk to rocks a lot.
I know, that's fair. As you're kind of looking up at it, trying to figure out if this creature can even understand
Maybe you should threaten to turn him to gravel.
I don't have bludgeoning weapons. It's
It sounds honestly exactly the same as you say it. The creature seems completely ignores you as it continues trying to swing at Cinder. Alright, as you end your turn. At the top of the initiative, Cinder, you're up.
Well, I have a sword.
You have a sword.
I made a
And you have a Rollman behind the creature, insulting it to death. Which, honestly, with those lame insults, it might be bored to death by the end of it.
20 to hit.
20 does hit.
Alright, well, it's gonna be a lot less impressive when you see the damage. Let's see, I guess a D6, D6 plus 3. 8!
As you kind of taking your sword and not really expecting much, slice into the creature, just stabbing straight through, and as you do, you feel the stone around it crumble and the body drop as the creature dissipates, dying on the spot.
The fuck?
And 4 HP.
I killed it.
You left me with 4. You left it with 4 HP, Rollman.
Cinder's just staring around, looks at his sword, and just goes, "Wow."
Rollman, as you just the only thing you see is as the creature's sword or as the blade goes right through and like stabs right through it, cutting it down. The creature breaks apart, the gem kind of landing on top.
Roman's very, very confused. He's like, that didn't
Wasn't
take that much at all.
that hard.
That's very concerning.
I'm gonna look around for anything.
You do see the gem at the center. Let me check mine.
I'm referring to anything that might be trying to sneak up because this
Oh.
looked too easy.
No. Yeah, give me a spot check. Go ahead. Or sorry, you're looking specifically for something. Search check. Sorry.
Can I just listen?
Yeah, give me a listen check.
the mediocre rolls continue.
It's just really easy as you are almost gasping at surprise, James. Expecting such a harder fight as you remember the Smilodon's taking multiple rounds to kill this creature. You kind of look about, like, looking for the prank channel to show up, like, nothing's there. It's quiet, it's peaceful.
The dwarven teenagers with the hammers that say prank on them descending.
Yeah. Cinder. The only thing you hear is the very heavy breathing of James, who sounds like he is about to have a panic attack from the anxiety of not seeing anything of a threat around. And the kind of open mouth of Rolliman as there looks to be wheels turning in his head, and just he looks surprised at the creature's death. So you hear nothing else, though.
I think the summons don't like casters.
Is it because, like, you hit it and you're a caster?
Well, I think I have the strongest magic out of the three of us, and it jumped me immediately, even though I did almost nothing to the creature.
Noting the large scars on the rocks from Rollman's Kamos.
It's true.
The slightly broken teeth from the hammer.
Teeth?
Rock-shaped teeth, yeah.
Wreath. Rock
Wreath,
teeth.
if you will. Yeah.
concerning.
Well, let's get another one.
I'll pick up
So
the gem.
I'll grab and pocket the gem.
We reach for
The
the same
gem
time.
is a 15-pound ruby.
Alright.
Rad pokes his head out
Mm-hmm.
and signs to James. Did you say teeth?
It's rocks that look like teeth. It's okay, buddy.
Rad will ask James to collect them for him, and he ducks his head back in the house.
They dissipate.
No, they are.
Yeah.
It is still there. The rock bits are still seemingly there.
I'll collect up these like bits of quartz to
Nope.
look white, or
It looked to be just pieces of normal gray stone, like as if they're being pulled straight from the ground beneath you.
all right, I'll collect them up and I'll hand them off to him later. But assorted rock bits, I guess.
James, give me a wisdom check. And actually, Cinder, also give me a wisdom check, although Cinder just muted, so I imagine he stepped away. Thank you, Cinder. Okay. As you two kind of continue, or kind of stand there looking over it for a moment, it's almost eerie as the three of you feel something's like almost, there's a tension in the air that seems to have almost appeared at the death of this creature. It's strangely quiet as you start to listen, and yes, James, there are no birds.
God damn it.
I would also like to point out, we have seen not a single bird our whole journey because
We heard birds earlier.
You did hear
heard
birds in the
There were
morning.
birds.
Because there was you
but
heard the sounds of a rooster.
The entire walk here, there were no birds because it's winter.
Shush. Well, I'm trying to panic
I
my
expect
players.
to hear
but-
penguins.
There are no penguins on this fucking island or the fucking portion of the continent. But no, as you listen, kind of continue about, it's almost eerie as if something is watching you. As you continue about walking around, you can't help but feel that as the three of you continue about your day.
Can I get a rough feeling of where? Or can I
give me a search
give
check.
a quick once over of the land? Yeah.
I'd like to give assistance on this.
Sure.
What is my plus to search? I know it's not great, but I'm gonna
Hey,
try.
you're getting a +9.
+4. So I got a 16 altogether, and if I'm getting a +9, that's 25.
Okay. As you look out, you don't really, nothing catches your eye. Nothing as you look through the towards the tree lines. It looks to be empty. The snow looks to be completely flat. As you kind of look about, nothing catches your attention. Rad, though, while in the room, actually, no. With that, I will mention you do notice the building back towards where Rad and Melvin are staying and is slightly glowing. Almost giving off a reddish light from it, a very dim light as you look over. Rad, inside you notice the symbol on the wall that the party has kind of ignored since coming in here. The strange clouds with a sword falling out of it is starting to glow a light, or almost a dim red, like a crimson blood red.
We triggered something.
Rad's eyes go wide, and he activates the orb of waking, and takes all his papers and sprints out of the house.
Melvin on autopilot, just eyes open, like what looks to be purple veins of light kind of coming off of his eyes, seemingly kind of starting to glow. Grabs the sled and just starts running after you. Like almost like a Terminator running very mechanically. As Cinder says this over to James and Rolliman. James and Rolliman, do you react at all?
Do you see Rad leaving?
You see Rad leading, but you also hear Cinder say, "We've activated something."
Do you think we can stop it? As I'll start moving towards them.
Fuck it. I'm going in. I'll at least see what's going on as I peek into the room.
I say there's the majority of the goods are still left in that room, so that you guys haven't put away.
No,
Well,
it was
no,
set
but
up.
what we were taking was loaded onto the
The sled.
We had it set up.
Oh, all right. As you head in, Cinder, passing Rad and Melvin, who seem to be like Melvin seems to be like autopilot chasing Rad at top speeds. Not even respond.
Imagine this is like Zebral's Mario Kart.
You hear a little bit of like snoring still coming from Melvin as he's running past, but his eyes are wide open, glowing bright purple as he does. Rad, as you're being chased suddenly by Melvin and a sled that Melvin should not be able to pull, as there is at least a couple 100 pounds on that thing. As you see Cinder and Rollman and James kind of come jogging up past you.
Rad signs, "We gotta get out of here. Did you get the teeth?"
I hand him the gray rocks.
You get handed a couple gray rocks in the shape of teeth.
Earth elemental teeth.
Incredible. A small split opens up in my hand, and I put them inside, and the split closes.
Okay.
And I sign, bad red glow, bad magic, bad magic.
I run in there and I grab the amethyst.
I will say Cinder's in there, is going to be running in there as well. So James and Cinder
Well,
run for it. Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting my sled that has all the shit for myself, and I'm just running with the sled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that has the some of the meat, the teeth, and
Cinder
what's left of some of the teeth.
runs in, like looks left, looks right, grabs his sled and starts rushing out with Snow kind of pulling alongside. James kind of pushing past as he comes in a little bit behind, a little bit slower with his heavy armor on. As he looks inside.
Grabs the amethyst tusk and the small sack of teeth that I could set aside for myself of sweet old big tooth, and I run out too. I'm leaving.
I will say both of you notice the glowing sigil on the wall, kind of giving a crimson red glow.
Spellcraft?
Yeah, go ahead. This will take you about a few seconds, so you will have to stop and like look at this thing. As you watch Cinder kind of like rush out. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, making clear here. Rollman, you're assumedly standing outside, kind of waiting for Cinder and James to come out. Is there anything you want to do while they're running in to get their stuff?
Is there anything different besides the glow?
The
whole town.
Give me a search check as you kind of run to the side alley where the ice walls were and kind of look down the road to see if there's anything down that's changed. Try not to like go too far from the door so you can still see James and Cinder and Rad and all them. 13. As you look out, it looks like a few of the other buildings are glowing this dim red light. As you kind of look up, you also notice that the snow has stopped and the clouds are seemingly darkening to a blackened color and starting to kind of cover over the sky. A moment later, as you see James and Cinder kind of coming out, Cinder first, James a few moments behind him, as you look up, you do notice the clouds seem to part like a circular motion for a moment, and as you kind of suddenly feel the ground underneath you rumble as something makes a massive impact into the ground.
We might have summoned something. Go to the trees! I'll be running.
Rollman shouts and starts running.
I'm one of the fastest among us.
Cinder is gone.
Spellcasting time? Well, he has his own thing.
Cinder and Snow are gone. Melvin has turned and is chasing, and Melvin is keeping up with you as he is sprinting with the other cart, like carrying it behind him like a Terminator.
I want you to, because Snow is not as fast as me, they are on the sled while I'm pulling it and running.
Okay.
Well, I'll end up leaving Rollman in the dust by a full-out sprint, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say, I assume Rad, quickly realizing that Melvin will follow the fastest person going away, is probably gonna jump onto the cart as Melvin starts chasing after Cinder.
Right on.
At the speed
yeah, kind of like sit down, enjoy the ride as Melvin speeds off at top speeds.
I'm sledding along.
Yeah. Alright. You... Rollman and James, you're kind of left at the village as not even before Rollman gets to the finishes saying run for the trees that Cinder and Melvin are gone.
Zebral enjoying his game of Melvin card, I see.
Did you say this out loud?
No, I am.
Okay.
This is player talk.
I want to make very clear because that is a statement now. Yeah, as you and Roland kind of start jogging for the edge, are you guys just gonna run at full speed, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
Roland start
try to
climbing
keep
over.
pace with Rollerman because I'm actually faster than him by 10 feet.
In thick snow. I mean, no, actually,
We both have the snowshoes, so
that's
yeah.
right. I forgot about that. I forgot you guys grabbed snowshoes. As you start kind of climbing over and rushing, give me listen and spot checks. As you I imagine, cannot help but look back to see if anything's chasing you. I mean, you don't have to, but I do request listen checks just to see if you hear anything.
That's my listen check,
15.
and
Okay, 20. Gotcha.
I'll take a peek over my shoulder, I guess.
You don't have to. I just figured I'd ask. 11 for a
If I'm
Roland.
being chased by something, I know Rollerman can handle it, so I'll try and put distance.
Okay.
I won't do a spot. I'll just keep going.
Roland, not wanting to look back, remembering the sexy trees at one point in his history.
No.
I look back. Fucking snow. I'm out of here.
Go, was that Roland? Go ahead.
Nah, he's got the running mentality. Don't look behind you.
That's fair. As the two of you kind of start sprinting, Roland, you see as you're kind of running, James a little bit ahead of you. As James seems to kind of look over his shoulder, and his eyes go wide in panic, and he starts kind of running like he's just seen a ghost. And you're just assured really quickly, Roland, there's something bad behind you. As
Keep going.
you start running, not ever seeing anything, James, really just seeing the heavy, dusty cloud, and at first seeing a shadow of what looks to be a massive dragon in the dust and the snow that's been kicked up, that being enough for you to just be understanding to run. As the two of you sprint for the trees, Cinder making it there first, Melvin only a few moments behind, as you two both take cover a few good 100 feet into the forest behind some of the thicker trees, making sure you're long out of view. As Roland and James come running up a few moments later, well, not moments, minutes later, I should clarify. Difference in speed.
45, that's 180 feet.
Yeah, so you run at half of Cinder's speed. So when you sprint, so yeah, as you're kind of catching up a minute later, you and Roland kind of behind. And come to a rest. Melvin is breathing heavy, but seems to lay back onto the cart and immediately starts snoring again as his eyes close.
He's awake for 10 minutes, at least.
Roland says, "Oh wait, do you say this out loud, Roland?"
I mean, no. I'm just
Okay.
clarifying. He's awake for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's immune to being asleep for 10 minutes.
Yep.
He's taking a power nap. He'll be back up in a few seconds. Don't worry.
I will say this isn't a spell effect. This seems to be the body is just naturally responding.
Now that I look behind us, since we're like stopped at the tree line,
Yeah.
Give me a search check.
is it search?
Yep. What? I assume you're looking for whatever was behind. It was chasing you or coming down.
What happened to the village? You know.
I'm doing the same. I'll give him assistance again. Hey, you get
Nice
you get another
assistance.
one.
Wow.
Thank you.
Roland,
Incredible.
are you looking back, or are you still just kind of catching your breath?
I'll grab my orb from Rad and then I'll look back.
Okay. Grabbing your orb from Rad is Rad kind of sitting there relaxing on the cart that Melvin
Yeah.
tugged through the snow.
I'm chilling, like panting, like I'm breathing heavy.
Alright.
13.
13, okay. And is that for the search check as well for Roland?
Oh, you want to search as well?
Yeah, or sorry, spot. That's my bad.
That's the spot. You want
That's your spot. That's spot. No, you're good. Rad, are you also wanting to take a look, or are you just kind of gonna chilling, making it look like you are also running fully? Oh, you've just muted, so I assume you're dealing with something. You can let me know in a minute. Yeah, as Roland, Cinder, and James, as you look back, you see what looks to be the village, or what was the village, now flattened. The buildings looking like they've been crushed. A heavy, what looks to be cloud of snow in the center of it. The appearance of what looks to be a dark shadow of almost a massive dragon. You'd guess almost to be ancient at the very least for size. As it seems to rampage, tearing apart the buildings. You see as the meat you had in the house goes flying into the trees. Some of the bits of meat and traps that you had all kind of set seems to go flying off into the other direction. A moment later, a couple of earth elementals seem to be summoned by accident as the spell circles go off, seeing 4 of the lights kind of glowing. The creatures seem to be tossed off into the distance, and as they land, their bodies seem to shatter immediately, cracking apart as they land. Few moments later, the almost snowy-like fog dissipates, and the being seems to vanish out of nowhere, or out into nothing. The black clouds overhead seem to dissipate a little bit, the snow continuing, and the darkness seeming to disappear completely as well.
Roman tries to memorize where the elementals landed.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check. Okay.
17.
Yeah, you managed to kind of get a couple of glances at a few of them, or at each of them, noting down where they're at and seeing the heavy impact of the snow. And you're pretty sure you could easily navigate your way to them.
You guys want to chill here for a little bit, make sure it's not like gonna come back?
I think that's the smartest idea. I also think most of the village there was leveled.
Really?
Roman looks back at the crushed down buildings.
Is there any houses standing?
No. As James finishes saying that, the last little well that was slightly standing from the resistance seems to crumble to the dust.
Yep, definitely leveled.
I don't know. The village might be fine. As I just looked at it all.
And you see Cinder sitting there chewing on some of his rations in the background. Good.
Yeah, you guys just want to chill here for like 10 minutes? Before we do anything?
Yeah.
Right.
After 10 minutes and nothing happens, I'll tell them about where the elementals landed and see if we want to get the gems.
Okay, one sec. Let me just make a note of something. There we go. Yeah, as you kind of point them out, pointing where the snow's kind of collapsed in, as Omen shows you each of the points of where these creatures are. They seem to be scattered about roughly 75 feet from you to the east and west, and then about another 150 feet to the north a bit.
I'm gonna go grab it. If there's a gem there.
Go see if there's the gem and bring it back, I guess, if that's what you want to do, Roman.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
How long does I last? Oh, I had an hour. Oh, sick.
As Roman starts jogging into the snow with his snowshoes, kind of walking or trying to get through it as quick as he can. Are you also heading off, Cinder, to go get the further ones?
Yeah, because at that speed, I can just ballerina around the village and be back really soon.
Okay. Who wants to call it, Roman or Cinder?
Or what?
Doesn't matter. Just the question is the question.
Heads.
All right, cool. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can actually successfully get my penny to actually split. It is tails. All right, cool. Cinder, as you go over, you find a large 25-pound red rock at the core of one of the elementals where they landed. Seemingly looking as you take a moment, it immediately glances and you recognize this as the same ore that was experimented on you with the red death ore.
From my time, do I know how volatile this shit is?
Well, you were exposed to a small. You know what? Yeah. I'd say you being exposed to a small 8 ounces to it in your entire experiment, and you being as screwed up as you are. Yeah. It's not hard to kind of put 2 and 2 together. As the few that you've seen taking this stuff have either turned to stone after a few dosages, either turning into the red death ore itself, or seem to be driven to madness until they basically kill themselves.
Now, I believe we also learned a couple sessions ago that red death ore is apparently a myth in most places.
Yep. To the common man.
I'm discovery of it and where I found it. I'm not touching the fucking thing.
As you kind of making a little quick note.
Oh, good idea.
Looking about, you do notice there are 2 other chunks of the same material, about 5 feet from each other. As you recognize these as 3 of the 5 cores of the creatures that were tossed. Roland, as you hit the other 2 that are a bit more a bit closer, kind of looking about, you do see both of them seem to be made of a bluish rock. That as you take a moment, thinking at first it might be potentially that death ore stuff that you've dealt with in horrendous situations with that one coat that James had decided to put on. It takes a quick glance, but you're pretty sure those are sapphires from what they look to be. Just large sapphires overall, as there's no seemingly liquid or magic flowing through them.
Okay, I'll pick them up.
All right. That will give you 2 25-pound sapphires.
And are these like the cores of the elementals?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take them back. Yeah, give them to James. All right, James, you gotta track that now.
As Cinder, I was gonna say, as Cinder comes jogging up with Roland after a few moments.
I would collect the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell which ones are teeth and which ones are just normal rocks?
You know what? I'm gonna ask a survival check for this because that's only fair. If you're gonna collect the teeth.
I'm shockingly good at survival.
He's fucking amazing that a druid's good at survival.
Hey man, I've seen Ned at level 1. Ned had like a +2.
Ned also didn't do all of his leveling properly, as we learned.
Yeah, that's Ned's fault. It's not my fault. 22.
22. As you kind of managed to sift through them, you managed to find around 30 teeth in total between the 3 bodies that seem to come out. They all seem to be carved out of a gray stone, but yeah.
I'll bring those to Red.
Okay.
As I skate back, the others will see that I have no cores.
Yeah, as you kind of catch them. Mm-hmm.
Were they broken or something? Asking Cinder.
They weren't gemstones.
What were they?
Death ore.
Really? Blue or red?
Red.
Ugh.
Roll him and remembering the flower.
I thought best not to touch them.
That's a good idea. Interesting.
Concerning, though.
Creature corrupted those somehow?
And it could have been the creature, or the hags are dabbling something they really shouldn't.
Did that creature resemble the thing that James unleashed in the cave?
Oh, the snake?
No, this thing had a shadow of almost of a ancient dragon shaped like creature for size. So this thing looked to be roughly like huge in size and just with massive wings and glowing eyes, from what you could tell.
No relation. Okay.
Can I roll nature on shadow-like creatures? It's probably the best I got.
I'll take either a survival check or a knowledge history.
History. I'll do a survival. I don't have history. I don't think druids get history.
I guess I could roll the history.
Oh, wait, look at that.
29. Okay.
My low rolls are holding. This is golf, right?
Yeah, right. James, the whole thing was terrifying. The only thing you're 100% sure of is a creature of that size should not exist without it being noted. So you're pretty sure that if you did some research, you'd probably find it somewhere. Dragons don't get that big and stay unknown. I mean, shit. The most recent known one about the world or an apex creature that you've heard of and rumor was a young dragon, and it was clearly identified already. So, kind of taking that to note, that kind of catches your attention. But beyond that, nothing else kind of springs to mind. Cinder, as you're kind of thinking about this, something catches your attention. The creature moved very almost like Melvin. It seemed strangely fixed, very strong. The movement wasn't natural or organic. As the sounds as you think back didn't sound right either. The almost like clashing of stone and metal against wood, not the sounds of what a dragon's tail would sound like crushing against wood or stone. there's something here that you're 100% sure is funky. You just don't know what. You do know though that was not a dragon. It could have been a lich, like for example, of a dragon that figured out how to become a lich. Fearful thought, as there's only a few that have managed to do so. But beyond that, nothing else comes to mind. Yeah. But nothing else beyond that kind of comes to mind. There shouldn't be a creature that should be this strong that wouldn't be known about.
I would think Cinder's mind would go towards with that, some kind of golem, something not natural.
Golems come to mind only slightly because you've seen a few in Velkomen that are being researched and studied overall. Though again, a creature of that size and that design, looking like a dragon, it would be way too complicated to make a construct. To your knowledge, however, and in theory, the creature would have to be more organic and living to be that size and be able to move like that and do that kind of damage. As you kind of think about it. Otherwise, nothing kind of comes to mind, but you're almost 100% sure that this creature probably came from the Dragonlands if it's given its design. You don't just find dragon bones lying around, you know.
That thing wasn't natural.
No, but it should be well noted somewhere.
Wasn't a real dragon.
Some sort of construct?
There's no constructs that complicated. Nor constructs that big. Most complicated construct in the world is, at least that off the top of my head, granted I'm not exactly a world traveler. The one that guards the capital, the Frost Giants. Way smaller, way simpler.
I don't think we should go back over there.
No, not at all. We should probably just go.
Agreed.
I believe that is for the best as well. Should we head back to... It'll take us a day to get back there. But...
As the party kind of sits and kind of...
safer.
Yeah, James kind of thinks about that. My apologies, James. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
You're fine.
As the party kind of sits and kind of takes a second to think, looking over, we're going to take a quick minute of a break while the players take a restroom break and the DM grabs some water. We will be right back in a minute.
Oh, y'all got another month or two out of game until it's done.
All right. We return back from our quick break. Apologies for that. The DM needed water as we continue on. All right. As you lot kind of gather around, looking at the map you have of the roughly of what you've made up of this area and kind of traveled about, looking at as James pulls out the quests or the request of the quests, kind of looking them over. You lot kind of gather around in a circle. Rad, I imagine, still sitting on the sled, relaxing. Melvin still snoring as he's leaning back. Yeah.
We don't have much information on any of these.
I think we head back towards the mountain, all skate up, turn in the quest, see kind of lightly what was going on, apparently, while we were gone, and I'll grab a new quest.
Sounds like a plan. We'll stay here. Well, we'll stay at the
We'll stay at the bottom of the slope.
Yeah, I shouldn't be up there more than at most an hour.
All right.
If we're requested, you'll be able to come down and get us, hopefully, or someone will come down to let us know.
Yeah, if I don't show up in an hour, I'm dead.
Okay.
Assume you're dead, and then we still have to come up, because that's where our ship is.
Well, yeah, but don't come up alone, is the point.
Alright. As you lot kind of gather up your stuff, rolling up the maps, putting away the requests, you kind of grabbing your sleds once again, you start to walk your way towards the mountains. Walking through the heavy forests, the ice above kind of keeping the thick canopy from allowing the snow to come down. So it's pretty much clear minus the crystal trees that seem to glimmer in the snowy light. You do notice the wind continues to wail through here like a ghostly almost sound as if it's crying as you walk through. But as you continue passing by, a few hours go by just at the blink of an eye. Give me a spot and listen check as you lot are going.
Roll my spot first. Oh, all right.
5. Ouch. I feel that. 20.
Um,
Nice.
I'm better at listen. Don't worry.
I
Jesus
am
Christ.
Not
equal
tonight, you're
opposed.
not. Not right now, you're not. This walk home, you got your mind somewhere else already, Cinder. You're going
There's
to
my
the
spot
town.
with a 22.
You're going to have to talk to people, potentially, Cinder. It's just not a good day.
Roll these to get fucking Snows really quick. Well, Snow got a nat 20 on something.
And 23 for James's listen. 22 and 23.
Okay.
So 26 spot and 24 listen, with the 20 with the spot being a nat for Snow.
As you look about heading into, or continuing through the forest, it looks as if the tracks on the ground there have been a scuffle. The clear signs of battle pretty easily seen as you see swords in the ground, not only kind of poking out bits of armor that it seems to be poking through the snow that you're walking on top of, but as you notice as well, the slight sounds of crying every once in a while, it seems to be faint in the wind as you look about, each of you noticing suddenly that you seem to be standing on a fresh battlefield. Well, fresh as in a day or two, it looks like, as the snow has piled up down here, covering up many of the bodies. But as you look about, kind of spotting a few of the bits of armor and such sticking out, you notice the giant like creatures seemingly underfoot.
Are they frost giants?
As you look at their skin, most of them seem to have a light bluish green colored skin, almost as if it's they died to, or their skin has gone pale from frostbite and from the snow.
Oh, forest giants? Yeah.
As you take a second, Cinder, yes, you recognize forest giants.
Would I know if they're actually like forest followers, or if they're just called it because they happen to be green skinned and live in forests? Like, would they be more welcoming to a druid?
Give me a knowledge nature.
Okay. See if I can, not nat one for a third time in a row.
Better now than in combat.
It is. I'd just rather not. That's
25.
I'll take it.
As you kind of think for a second, these do look to be proper forest giants, but as you kind of look for their symbols, you do notice a symbol on them. They are wearing the emblem of Lithotara.
Oh.
These are what you would consider Cinder. Well, Cinder, I don't know how your personal opinion would be, but most druids would consider these to be evil druids, typically. Emancers, and power-hungry lot.
I know they're anti-nature, but most of their thing, when they do nature, it's like literal, right? It's more trees, bushes, that kind of thing.
Yes.
My nature is like inanimate nature. It's snow, it's ice. They're not going to kill ice. It's everywhere.
No, their mentality, from your own knowledge, is that they seem to be against organic material. So beings and like living plants and such is what they look at. They don't care about stones, snow, the water itself.
Yeah. So knowing that they're not a threat to my druids, I don't hate them, but they will probably kill us. I'll take a slow step back as I look at the others, and just shake my head no.
All right.
They kill people, get stronger for doing so, and hate nature.
Rollman, as we walk past, make sure that if any move, that they're quickly dispatched.
I'd liken them more to cultists than clerics.
I mean, if one of the frozen bodies starts moving, I'll start stabbing it.
All right. Give me a spot check real quick, Rollman, to see if any of them are moving at all as you kind of look about.
Search.
Sure, I'll take a search. God damn it.
20.
No balance talk. I don't know what that was. 20. As you look about, you don't notice, or none of them seem to be moving. The few light cries that you can hear on the wind seem to be coming from further ahead. But you do notice that these creatures aren't just all green skin. There is a few that seem to be dotted about with purple skin.
Oh God. What kind of role is it to recognize an eldritch giant?
Knowledge planes.
I'll try this.
Fuck it.
No, I'll take that or knowledge history. One of the two.
Can I argue for knowledge religion since they seem to have high religious importance?
They are not religious based.
They just are a powerful breed of giant.
That
I'll
happened to
take
fall
history
off.
then.
9, all right.
Better than me. Oh, right.
7.
I mean,
Bro, you suck.
so
non-combat.
there's a general story that children are told back in the Snowbeard lands about the giants. There once was a giant of blackened power, so capable that he could scare gods away as he darkened the sky. With his magic known nothing more as pure evil in essence, he would give birth to about nine giant sons. Each of these 9 giants would go on to found a faction, and 4 would find themselves crumbled underneath the others. While those 5 would rise to greater and greater power, the 4 would crumble beneath themselves. And the end of the story has something about brotherly love and always taking care of family as they made up. But the actual tale goes a little differently from what you know of history. Just like how Thanksgiving, the Indians and the Pilgrims got together and had turkey.
Yeah.
But as you kind of walk past these.
I'm gonna cast spell once we're past them because I prepped a spell for this kind of situation. I was expecting it soon, but
As Roland kind of keeps his eyes open, watching a few of them to see if they're not that any of them are going to get up or move or do anything. Yes, you continue walking past them. It's almost eerily quiet with the light cries on occasion. As you get further in, you start to see some of the bodies have looking like they've managed to pull or drag themselves through the snow, along blood trail behind them. Their fingers as clearly as if they've been tearing at the ice itself, flesh pulled away from the bones. Clearly dead as you pass by the poor creature. Another that you see looking as if it's just got the upper half of its body, still looks to be panting and crying lightly as it lays into the roots of a tree, as you can kind of see some snow colliding around its belly where blood and guts can clearly be seen. Creature seems to kind of look at you lot and cry a little bit more, but quietly seems to continue on as it is, as you lot pass by.
You guys want information, or you want me to give it a quick death?
Does it look like it's in any form to speak, and which type is it? The Eldritch or Forest?
It has a greenish blue skin and seems to have a deep green hair. The creature looks to have its face, it's missing its lower half. I will say there is no steam coming off from the body either.
He's gonna pass away, and he's very soon. No sense in doing either.
What? I'm gonna give him a fucking mercy death. What the hell?
Is it like? I mean, I'll walk over.
No, I can.
Does it look like he can speak? I don't know how hardy these things are. Is it just crying at me, or
as you walk over to kind of inspect the creature, it seems to just be crying. As you look at the side of its, the head of it, the back of its skull looks like it has some sort of creature moving around inside of it. As there's a little fluffy, reddish tail kind of sticking out, and you can hear something chewing inside. As the eye the eye of the giant looks over at you and just continues to cry and pant.
I'm gonna put you out of your misery, friend. Nothing's healing that. As I'll pull out my fucking ice scimitar.
As you kind of spike down into the creature, as Roland kind of watches this, and as Roland, James, Rad, and Melvin, who's still asleep, kind of watches from afar or from a few feet away. As you strike down, the creature kind of goes immediately slack, the head kind of looking forward, the eye kind of just staring down at the snow. The creature inside of its skull kind of popping out as you see a small red squirrel kind of looking up at you, angrily, makes a couple of noises and then climbs up the tree and climbs away.
Is it just like a normal squirrel? What I recognize is just.
It looks to be a red squirrel, yeah. Just a normal red squirrel.
What color are Fluffy Oscars?
Red. Red and brown.
Red.
Can I roll nature?
Knowledge nature? Sure.
Is that a Fluffy Oscus, baby?
If it is, I want to tame it. 31.
As you
It is,
look,
we can't afford to fucking feed it.
as you look at the creature, as it scurries up the tree, you are almost 100% sure that is a normal squirrel of these lands. These creatures are just adapted to eat meat because there's not very often many trees and plants that grow vegetables and fruits or nuts. And the grasses are almost always buried. So this looks to be just a normal squirrel.
I'd like to wild empathy while I'm offering it some Smilodon meat.
Double check something. Give me that's a diplomacy check. Yeah, go ahead and give me a diplomacy check.
Is this thing intelligent?
Wild empathy acts as a diplomacy
It's a
check,
separate
from what I
role.
understand.
Wild
It is
empathy
great.
is different.
It's my charisma plus my druid level instead of skill points.
I'm pretty sure.
I have to know.
It acts like a diplomacy, but it's different.
I'm gonna double check.
The druid rolls 1d20 and adds
The
your druid
ability
level.
functions just like a diplomacy check. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
read further.
Yeah,
It's an ability. It's not a diplomacy.
functions like it, but
Well, if it functions like it, then yeah, that's what I'm
No,
understanding.
it's not. How?
that doesn't.
If it mimics an ability, it doesn't mean you use that ability.
And why even mention it?
Because that's
Because
how
it's you can't usually diplomacy check animals. It acts like a diplomacy check, but for animals.
So still same.
Like
Okay.
that's what it's saying.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
all right, D20 plus charisma, which I think is still, again, your diplomacy check, but cool, just without the extra ranks.
He adds his druid level. That's what's different.
Yes, which is going to be, all right, got you. Cool. That works for me. Still same thing. That works. All right.
23.
23. As you kind of try to offer the creature meat, kind of pulling out some of the Smilodon meat that's raw, holding it out, trying to coax the creature down as you make noises for it to catch its attention. Seems to look down at you from the top of the tree, look at your meat for a moment, and then seems to scurry up the tree and disappear into the ice.
They don't like you.
I'll just shrug. Go back to the others. Actually, did the giant have anything on them?
Give me a search check quickly.
Plus to search. Not great. 23.
23. Un momento, por favor. Let's see. Yes. As you kind of look through his gear, you do find what looks to be something was on the creature's back at some point. Looking at, you see the wood of a handle and something that looks to be shattered metal. Looks to be the shape of a great axe. However, it's so cracked and destroyed that you're pretty sure this is not the greatest of metal, and that the item's probably not too easily brought back. Though it is raw metal. The cloak on the creature looks to be shredded and torn up by some sort of blade, and making it basically useless as you kind of take a second. But as you look at its left hand and what looks to be for a second, kind of looking at first to be a root of the tree, as you take a second glance, you recognize a white ash staff with silver runes inlaid into it.
Can I religion? Because if it's like a religious artifact, I don't want to fucking touch it.
Yeah, give me a knowledge religion.
I'm not making the mistake fucking Sunday made when they started fucking with that staff.
Well, good news is it's not a holy avenger. I can at least give you that.
That's good. That's a step in the right direction. Let's see, I rolled a 12. What's my plus? I think it's a 4. No, 12. Yeah, 12 and 12. Nice, 24.
So this staff, as you recognize it, is not a some sort of religious icon. This seems to be some sort of magic staff of some sort, but beyond that, it doesn't. You don't recognize that as any religious significance.
So it just seems like a casting focus. It's just
No, not what I'm saying. I'm just stating it's not religiously. It doesn't seem to be a religious icon. No, clerics, paladins, or such would use this as their religious item, if you will. No gods would claim this or anything like that.
Fuck it. I'll grab it.
All right.
See what happens.
Yeah, as you pick up the white ash staff, kind of grabbing it in your hand, it's huge. It's large in its size. It's just a large white quarterstaff. As you kind of light in its design, the little bit of silver inlaid into it seems to make the runes kind of glow a little bit in your hand. But otherwise, yeah.
All right. I'll walk back to the group because the rest isn't really worth messing with.
Yeah, as you head over towards the group, the rat kind of passing a few other corpses that look to be pretty bad shape. Some look to be torn up, as if they've been shredded by a bear. Kind of some others that look to have their just ribcage just torn viciously open by some creature that you're not sure you've ever seen before that can do something like that outright. Well, actually, that's not true because Earth Elementals, I guess, theoretically could. But as you kind of pass by, rejoining up with the group. Yeah, as you lot kind of turn and start to continue on your way. The crying and light whisper seems to dissipate now that the giant is dead and the forest falls silent, all but the ghostly winds once again. As the wailing continues, you lot heading on, finding yourself continuing through the forest. The battle scene gets darker and darker as you start to see heads kind of shoved onto spiked or tree branches. Ice, seemingly chunks of ice, use it to stab through these creatures. You count roughly 200 giants in total, mixed between forest and eldritch, meaning the purple and these greenish blue ones, as you pass by, all in different forms of vicious death. But as you finally make it to the edge of the mountain coming out of the forest, seeing the stairs themselves, there stands an individual in his red coat, smiling, his backpack all cleaned up, his merchant attire all glimmering in the snow, as he stands at the bottom of these stairs to the mountain, up to the staircase to Velkomen.
What's that guy we know?
I don't know any guys. Let's all start getting ready to go up the mountain with the pelts.
Jake kicks, smiles, and starts walking over as Cinder kind of passes by and kind of looks over at you, James, and goes, "Well, I have fixed your problem. Face should not be your situation anymore. I hope I assume you found my letter."
I also transferred the information and got rid of it. That way, I don't have your handwriting on me to get any blame.
Oh, don't worry. Now, Regan Utham thinks you're some big hero and that Face chased me out of the city, and did an epic battle and killed all these Lithotara followers that were getting ready to ambush some of his soldiers. So you'll be heroes once you head up.
At that word, James cringes.
It kind of
physically.
Jakik smiles a very toothy smile and bows a little bit and goes, "I wish you luck, good hero."
It's good for business. I hate that fucking title.
He is going to dissipate into black smoke at that and vanish in front of you.
Was that actually Jakix?
You did see the eyes look to be the same.
Okay, I was just checking.
Good check. Good check.
Is Cinder still within calling distance?
At this point, assumedly, yeah. Having probably just heard the great hero.
Yeah, you can see I'm about to jet off because I have to use
hero.
Let's all.
No.
Hopefully you can arrange. Yeah, can see if you can arrange for someone to come assist us in bringing everything up. We'll want to do research before we set off on the. I think the moving ice will be our next target.
In moving everything up, or just the giant bodies?
Are we claiming the giant bodies?
Well, they already think they're ours.
I mean,
we'll go up there first, and then see if they actually are ours, like 100%.
Yes.
Sure. As I'll start skating up the.
All right. As you start heading up yourself first, Cinder, kind of easily outpacing the other two. Rollman and James, are you heading up, or are you staying at the bottom? Okay.
We're waiting because getting two sleds up versus me just sending the bag of holding that has the pelts in it with him.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Now, yeah, as you kind of watch as Cinder takes off at the top, getting everything ready, kind of getting things sorted, moving Melvin from snoring on top of the goods. Cinder, as we jump to you real quick, as you rush up these stairs, it takes you a few minutes to get up as the height you're going to, but as you go rushing up the side of the mountain, snow kind of like laying on your shoulder as you go flying up. Coming to the top, you see Frost Giant, like blackguard in heavy iron and what looks to be dark metal, standing, weapons at the ready, kind of at their side, to either side of the entrance. About 20 in total, and then what looks to be a long line on either side of just normal Frost Giant guards, kind of weapons still standing at their side. As you come out of the crescent the staircase.
Hello there.
One of the blackguard looks over and kind of pops his hood, and you recognize Froten for his shorter and stubbier height. That you notice he is standing on something to kind of make him look taller. As he looks over and goes, "You're supposed to be here for some grand entrance. Act grander."
I'll stand up straight. I'll have Snow walk. Actually, I'm gonna
You're gonna ride Snow.
I'm gonna ride Snow.
Snow seems to kind of get into it and starts to prance along with you on his back as you start walking forward, all regal. As you are kind of stepping forward as you do, you hear giants clapping and people starting to cheer. Rolman and James and Rad, give me listen checks to see if you can hear this.
16. Giants aren't quiet.
Nope. Nice. Rolman, stop copying James. God damn it.
That's my number. You don't get to use it today.
Copying his homework, man. What'd you get, Red?
12.
12. Rad, you don't really catch this, but James and Rolman, as you hear the light sounds of cheering coming from above, you hear the Ironheart Merchant Company being whispered, and like it sounds like almost people are chanting it, though you're not sure if that's good or bad. As you kind of take a moment.
Sense motive?
Yeah, give me a sense motive. Rad, you hear the light sounds of clapping on the wind, but otherwise nothing kind of catches your attention.
23.
Gotcha.
23. As you kind of take a second, James, you're not sure with the amount of people, the roaring, the roaring of the crowd, giant culture. That could either be they're about to kill someone and they're excited about that, or this could be a triumph. Either one's really good, one's really bad.
I give good odds. You haven't heard a loud thud of a hammer slamming into my face.
Yeah, I will say.
We haven't seen a body go flying either.
As you wait a moment, you haven't seen Cinder's body or head come flying down, so far it seems alright.
I'm gonna say that it's 70-30 odds that it's triumph.
Hey, for a merchant, that's good odds.
As you hear this going on, Cinder, as you walk forward, you see Regan Utham dressed in his regalia to the nines, like a proper king, crown on for the first time you've ever seen this, and ever even heard of this individual wearing a crown. People seeing this for the first time, many of them as they cheer on as he stands at the end of the guards, waiting for you to walk up. As Snow kind of prances to a stop and kind of kneels down slightly.
Since I'm from a nation basically tightly tied to Frost Giant culture, when they're greeting king, do they? Because I know they're very different. Do they do kneeling, more of just a bow of the head? Like, what's the usual?
Well, it depends on the king. Unfortunately, Regan Utham isn't a man who's really big on ceremony, but given this situation, you think maybe bowing or showing some sort of submission might be of benefit.
I'll like dismount once I'm close enough, and I'll just kneel.
Okay. As you kind of kneel, you watch as Snow follow suit. You see as Utham kind of looks down at you and seems to smile proudly and goes, "James, my boy, I'm quite proud of you." And you see one of the Frost Giants kind of like lean in and whisper something, and he kind of like grabs something out of his coat and like puts on a little bit of spectacles and like blinks a few times and goes, "Wait, who are you?"
I'm his uncle. I can get up the mountain much faster, so I was sent ahead.
Uncle of James, you today have come to us in a great time of triumph for what you've managed to defeating the cataclysm itself and one of its great champions. I ask of you and your party to take this personal reward from me at the defeat of these beings. I could not have asked for such a great achievement of any other to do so, and thus I feel I am obligated to give you a reward of equal value. Thus, I this day ask of you to decide what I can offer you for achieving such a great feat in my halls, and without managing to cause a single death to any of my people, that in itself being a true accomplishment. Truly, tell me, what is your heart's deepest desires? If I can see it done, I will do so.
You know, I'm gonna be honest out of game. Cinder was not ready.
No, none of us were ready for this type of thing. Seeing as it's been a few minutes and we haven't heard anything, I guess we'll start up.
I was saying the sounds of the clapping has seemingly dissipated. The cheering seemingly has gone quiet.
You want to take those odds, James? 70-30?
Yeah, we haven't seen. I'll move it up to 80-20. In favor of good.
All right. Let's start
If you'll, if my Regan will allow me to think for a moment, my nephew and the others should be up shortly as well.
He nods and goes, I am but a humble and patient king, and I feel it is only the right of the people to see their new heroes and champions of greatness. I wish to welcome them all before us and show these people what you've done. Bring forth these heroes, please, as he shouts this out again. The sounds of music kind of trumpeting in the background at every time the word hero is used.
To help us get up faster, I'm going to do something that I haven't tried to do before. I did prepare this earlier because I figured we'd be leaving. I'm bringing forth 2 spectral steeds to help pull
Ride
stuff
it on
up.
horses.
All right, yeah. As they pull the sleds up and start kind of wrapping them up in the briddles.
And they last for 7 hours now.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
The creatures looking like really buff BKs. These warhorse-like creatures that all look to be BK but fluffy.
James, let him go.
No, this is his spirit. He's coming to help us. Leave it be. So I cope with it.
They seem to smile back and start carrying up and walking up the stairs quite slowly as they start to he and haw with each step.
Rad finger messages. Why are we on fucking mules?
It's an
A single tear just drops from James's beard as it flowed down.
Your beard.
I'm impressed it got down to beard.
His beard
Yeah,
does
it got
cry.
down beard.
Yeah, his beard cries. If you didn't know, Rollman, as you suddenly notice that you're kind of just surprised. You've never seen a beardless dwarf. You're not sure what's underneath that, and you've seen creatures with multiple eyes before. There, for all you know, after seeing this, James could have a set of eyes under that beard.
That's horrifying.
It is.
I'm going to shave him at some point.
As
You
Roland
shave
contemplates
you
what
die.
James would look like shaved. I will mention, James also keeps his beard very neat and clean, so you can fully see into it if you really look, but you never know, man. There could be eyes in there. But as the mules pull you up, Melvin's still snoring on the cart, or the sled in the back.
Hey, wait, I just realized this will also help Melvin. Jesus.
As you kind of head up all the way, it takes a few minutes of awkwardness as the bands continue to play, and Regan Utham just kind of stares at you, Cinder, unnervingly. He does not blink as he looks at you.
Oh, they have very similar personalities.
Any minute now.
Yeah, as you get up there, the music guy continuing to play, you finally crest the hill as you do, and people start cheering and clapping again as Regan Utham looks up and seems to wave his hand again, for people to continue screaming and cheering. As you come over the hill and just see a lineup of guards, half of them in full darkened iron plate, the rest just all carrying weapons, and Regan Utham sitting at the end fully in his regalia looking at you lot waiting.
James will stiffen up and look and put on his merchant attitude. His helmet still on, but the visor on the face will come off so people can see his face.
Okay. You hear people shouting your names as they do. Not Rad and Melvin, but James and Rollman. As people seem to know you lot, shouting hero, saviors, and champions.
I'll give a simple bow and then I'll stand.
As you kind of bow and stand and start walking forward, James kind of, I assume, climbing off the sled and walking alongside as the mules continue to carry the sleds.
And I'll have them stop it behind us and as we kneel before the Regan.
Yeah, as you come to a stop next to Cinder, who has kind of been like kneeling there for now a few moments. His knees a little, I imagine, hurting a little bit.
Oh yeah, he's been sitting there for a while.
I spent 10 years locked in one position, unable to move. This is nothing.
That's true. That is
Do
true.
I know if like a bow is good enough?
As you're looking over at Cinder, who's already kneeling, and the Snow, who's also kneeling, you're not sure if bowing is enough. As you kind of look on, James kind of following suit to kneel, I assume.
Or I guess I'll.
And James at this point would take his helmet off because if someone's going to pull an assassination right in front of the Regan, they're going to get killed.
Melvin is still snoring on the sled. Rad, do you get it off the sled and go up and kneel?
Rat signs, I don't really like kneeling.
The Regan just kind of looks at you and kind of nods and signs back, I understand, stay where you are.
What a nice
Brad signs, you're pretty cool, G.
You just see a thumbs up from the Regan as he looks back to James. Not even like
observer is like.
You know what? This is why I like
magic.
Regan Utham more than my own fucking ruler.
Regan Utham looks down back at James and then to Rollman and goes, "You two who are heroes to my land, I welcome you back as champions who have saved us from Cataclysm itself, managing to vanquish its champion in single combat and then wipe out the raiding party of Lithotara as well. I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of my people's heart," as they cheer once again at that, as he kind of like waves his hand and they silence, and he continues and goes, "With that, I feel I owe you a great gratitude for this. So, if it is your heart's desire, please speak it, and I will try to make it so."
I look to James. He's the leader.
One moment out of character, I do want to ask this. Do we want to just give Utham the bodies as a bonus?
I mean, I think that could be part of the thing. After you ask your reward, you could tell him you're offering him the bodies because we don't have.
Yeah, don't mention it in the request. Just
no, do it after.
No, I'm not sure what to request though. I keep getting these dropped on me. Damn it!
Do you need me to tell you rare materials from this land that have been discovered over time? If that's what you're looking for.
Well, what do you desire that would help your party or you?
I mean, Rowan's already passed along the assistance that I want for that incident, so this would be separate.
You could ask for land outside the city. You could ask for just rare materials in general.
You could ask for entrance as part of your reward, entrance into a Haimbrester's household.
Yeah, you could ask to have land or similar.
Which would benefit us the most right now? Having the space to set up a city would be interesting, but not worth our time because we don't have someone we trust to manage it.
If he gives you land in the capital, a building, we're allowed entry. No other merchant that's not a Frostchain merchant has.
And we can do the J-Kicks thing because they might be in there.
We'd be able to enter the capital.
Yeah, I will. James will keep his head bowed, and I humbly request the right to open a business in the capital, as to keep assisting and growing the nation.
Yeah, of course. I think that can be very easily arranged as a very simple prize. Are you sure you do not need or request more? I do feel that such a great deed on this day does deserve such a grand prize. I mean, heroes of a nation, champions, if you will, that I can now name to my cause. I truly cannot thank you enough. Only requesting passage into my capital city seems quite little. Are you sure you wish nothing else?
I would believe that'd be all I would want, although I believe outfitting, as I look to Rollman, My trustworthy friend Roloman here with some better armaments than I can craft would be up your alley, my liege. And for my uncle, there was some odd plot of land that we discovered outside of town that he seemed interested in, if that would be possible.
Done. Yes, no, that's within these. I am no armor craftsman myself, but I can see that you're taking care of young hero Roloman, and Sir Cinder, it should not be an issue to give to take the land. If it is land I think you speak of, we recently saw an attack in the area, but if you're fine with dealing with that, I'm more than happy to see you to the territories with a small tax break on it.
Cinder will just give a nod without speaking.
And with that, champions, I have given you back what I can only offer you as thanks for the grand sacrifices you've offered us to this day. I hope that as the time continues, you will continue to support us and our great nation as the crowd cheers your names at that. The Ironheart Merchant Company being cheered over and over again. Regan Newtham looks at you a lot and goes, I ask that you join me in my quarters when you have some time. Please visit me in the capital. I think there would be much to discuss with your future plans and what sort of alliance we may be able to see in the future.
I would be honored, my liege.
He smiles at that and kind of stands up from the golden chair that he's been sitting in and kind of waves his hands as the guards kind of start to dissipate. The crowd starts to go back about their business, and some people come over and pick up the chair as Regan Newtham turns, kind of handing the crown off and taking off his cloak as he looks down at you, James, and goes, "Oh, please do stand. The novelty's over."
James literally stands up as soon as he starts taking everything off. James doesn't waste time like that. It's not worth it.
Rubs his face. He goes, I hope you understand. The land will take a while to get the paperwork for, but as far as it is, consider it your own. Do it with it as you will. Once we figured out where exactly you want the boundary to be. Beyond that, see wrote about the gear that I promised for Roloman. Any creature that you're looking for, I can see what I can do to assist.
Also, the bodies of all those giants, you may take them. I don't think I can do anything with them anything better than what you would be able to.
He nods and goes, I do appreciate that. They'll make good study. I'm curious what the difference between us and the Eldritch Brethren are. They seem to be more capable than most of my own guard, which makes me think that there might be some value in them.
From the old stories, they're more suffused with magic than anything else.
I'm familiar. With that in mind, though, I am curious. You are welcome amongst my capital. I must ask, though, you do not radicalize my guards with any unique weaponry. Please, no pitchforks, for the love of all that is holy.
James literally just holds up his hammer. I make weapons like this and the ones that Roloman currently uses. I don't dabble in too much that's outlandish.
Who thought to use a pitchfork as a weapon?
It's a long story, but I also have a second request. Your godly beliefs, you need to give them up. I can't have a stakent being of divine power traversing amongst my lands when I serve a being much grander than you. It's an insult and one I don't take lightly. So either you need to decide to give up your decision of whatever you're chasing, or you need to not be coming to my territory any further, as you are a threat.
I merely wish to live as I please. I'm not chasing godhood in any sense of the word, sir.
And I request that you give a pact to that. I don't want your divineness in my territory causing issues, especially with what I'm trying to build currently.
The only time I've used my divinity was and James will recount the 3 times he's actually actively used it, to help somebody, to try and protect his crew and his ship, and to give a burial to a friend.
Give me a sense motive.
Nat 20 for 27.
You notice the Regan is seemingly, mentally looks like he's taking notes of everything you're stating, kind of tracking everything that you're talking about, as if this is information that he's ever heard of. and you're just handing out very valuable info.
James is going to smile at him. And I see the look on your face, my liege. Or King Gutham. And I have just given you very valuable information that I think is worth me being able to keep my faith as I wander around. I will do no harm to your country.
You see the Regan kind of like looks at you, crosses his arms across his chest, and seems to looks like he's mulling something in his head for a moment as he looks between the lot. His eyes kind of settle onto Rad, and he kind of stares at Rad for a second, and then looks back down to James, and then just looks at James and nods and goes, "You'll sign a pact. You'll give your true name. Beyond that, you'll be, and if you're willing to accept these terms, you can keep your citizenry. Otherwise, you keep your honorary citizenry and you never return to my territory."
I would have to wait to leave until my ship was finished and my shop will, and make sure that my shop is well set up.
Well, those
No.
aren't set up in the capital where the ship isn't, right?
Your ship will be delivered if you're leaving to you, if that's the case. And as far as your business, that will be allowed to be ran by a member that I approve that will represent you. I want to make clear.
This only applies to James the person, correct? For the citizenry?
This is correct. The rest of you I have no issue with personally, unless you plan to become divine beings in your own right. But do understand, James, this is no toying matter, and any world leader or any nation leader who thinks that you walking around their streets is an okay thing is an idiot and an affront to nature that should be killed. I want to make clear, I like you. You've done something great for me, but I will not hesitate to take your head. So either
I would expect no less, because this is not our first meeting.
You will fall into line to this day, or I will ask that you do as I kindly leave, as I don't want to have to kill you.
Just for player me to understand, he's just asking me for a pact to not
become a god.
Basically, yeah, he's stating you can't become a god. He is asking you to give your true name, which also would give him a lot of power if he decided to use that get over you, because your true name means everything, and then that means that he'd also be preventing you from becoming a god.
Or you could just not have citizenry, and you can still visit all the other cities except for Hibresso's asshole.
Well, or no, he said any of his territory.
He said
okay.
Yeah, he said any of his territories. That's why.
Because James is a threat from a godly revolt potential.
James himself would have to leave immediately and never come back.
Yep.
I can't agree to the pact. This is me thinking.
Yeah, go ahead. You're
Flair. I can't agree to the pact because I don't have full control of that. Legitimately, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way for that pact to actually be upheld.
Well, the pact, in theory, the pact once enforced would basically prevent you. The fate as it is would make it so you can't become a god.
Which was never James's main goal.
Okay, then just accept.
He says god. Does that mean like properly ascended, or does that count demigod?
I mean, God seems to it doesn't seem to. He hasn't specified.
Just getting all the specifications on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at him, how receptive would he be to a shift in that I swear agreed to a pact to not start a revolt of any kind?
Give me a sense
or be a part of it.
You see, you want to become a god, bro.
It's later. This will be interesting.
17?
You're pretty sure there's no room for bargaining. The only fact that you're standing here right now and being allowed to walk around is because of what just happened and what you being named champions and heroes. You're pretty sure Regan Uthan would probably take your head just as coldly as he'd order a sandwich right now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because while ascending isn't a part of what anything I want to do, I also have been utilizing divinity to do other things. And if this stops that, that's also going to screw that over.
The only other option I see is you don't accept the pact, and we ask the ship to be delivered, and we could go over to fucking Ogsland. Because we can walk there. It's the next nearest fucking territory. Because we can't exactly go to the Champions of
Pirates. Yeah, because we can get the cart. Technically, I can buy a secondary cart.
We could go there and ask him in 9 months when the ship's done to deliver it there, along with our crew.
Yeah, go get the Arctic Mane and the cart and just head out.
Yeah, kill some monsters during the 3-month journey, or shorter now because there's a road, but the multi-month journey, and then get quests later. Yep. That's our next best option if you don't want to do the pact. That's like the only country we can go to on foot.
I will say Og's territory is listed as Reganism's kingdom now.
Yeah, but worst case, if that's what he thinks, we keep going. We go to the Crystal Giant Lands.
That's true.
I mean,
that's the best we can do. We can walk that way, and we'll get to the territory eventually.
If you don't become a god, and that's actually like true, if you sign a thing that says you can't become a god, that's going to limit you from actually like accidentally doing it.
Yeah.
As well.
It would never happen.
As James takes a moment to think about this and the night kind of ponders on, I think that's actually a good ending point to leave James kind of looking up at Reganutham to think about. We're going to end session here tonight. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we're going to see you next time.